And now, live from the Man Cave, Studio B, deep in the heart of constitutional Livingston County, Michigan, on a Tuesday night manufactured rant. Co-hosts, Grandma Connie's in the house, Patrick Acton, and our good friend Mr. Coffee, irritating liberals everywhere. With yours truly, Larry Parsons. Our ever-present earwig behind the scenes, the real Tim Allen. This is my brain. And the host of the show, the man that puts this all together so we can bring this broadcasting excellence straight to your home, Mr. Jeremy Scott Gibbs. Larry Parsons supports all campaigns and requests all signs be placed in his yard. No, he does not.
That was beautiful.
That was good.
Earliest start
There we go.
ever. GMA's here and don't put up the
Earliest start ever.
See that?
On
Larry,
time.
put your thing on there.
I mean, I can't believe it. On time.
I was
On time.
I was told to come and straighten you guys out. More, more, go more. No, you know what? You take it, man. Take it like a man.
I am. I'm taking it like a man right back.
Take it like a man, will
Like,
you?
yeah, take that beating.
Casey Hilton watches this show just because
I know. She has. Yeah.
Casey Hilton watched this show because of coffee.
Yep. Can you blame her? Look
You're
at this eye candy over here, man.
How's that? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we could hear you before. I had you muted while you were putting it on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
While you were putting on the microphone. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of This Is My Brain with all the people here. I have not had a single drink tonight. It is a manufactured slur based on the electronics in the machine.
Grandma Connie's back and already got a headache
No kidding.
with the slurring words.
I was slurring my words.
Don't slur your
They tried to
words.
say that Trump was slurring his words
Oh.
with Elon last night. We'll get
Yeah.
into it. And
Oh, really?
it was,
Okay.
and they literally took, on InfoWars today, they took other electronic or other people and
Mhm.
ran them through an electronic, like played them their original recording and then ran through a processor.
Mhm.
And the person through the processor sounded like they were slurring their words. Lots of slurrings with the words.
Lots of-
And the news is going spastic today. Like Trump sounds senile in his interview with everything they could possibly do. And he was quite the extremist.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Who was the one that
I don't know. They're all weird.
which party threw their candidate off and then put an unelected candidate on there that never ever got a single vote? Which party did that? Is that the Democrat Communist Party?
Democrats. Welcome everybody to the show. I think I said that. Coffee, scoot closer to me. You.
Get. Yeah, there you go.
There you go, Coffee. There you go, buddy.
See how you are?
There.
See how you are.
See how you are?
Yep.
Closer
you
to
need
the
to
seesaw
come over a little
candies. Here.
closer too.
Yeah,
'cause
get
I
in
don't
a
wanna
shot.
have to stretch
Cuddle.
Larry's going to
to
play on his phone the whole.
Well, I don't want to have to stretch to him.
I've tried to talk to him about sending out like all the information on the show the hour beforehand when I send him the link, but apparently I failed. I have failed you, Anakin. I have failed you. Nobody can see the father part down here, so I'm just going to say I am your for the rest of the night.
And I am wearing a birthday gift.
Yeah. The fight Trump.
Nice.
Very nice. I am yours. Yes. And then Larry's got the fight. Fight. Why does that camera have that half moon in it? Goofy ass camera.
Goofy camera.
Goofy camera. All right, so we're good to go. Let's get this on the road. Papa Bob already saying good to see Grandma.
Yep.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, Larry.
Larry. Freaking Larry. Larry.
Aren't you glad to have me?
Yes, I actually am.
Oh, good.
I missed you.
Oh, good. I've been gone a long time.
Larry.
Yeah.
It's been a year or
Everybody
more.
loves Grandma
No, it
Connie.
hasn't
No,
been a year.
haven't been a year.
Mm-mm. I came in October. I think October was the last I came.
Okay, so
Yeah.
10 months.
Yeah.
I just thought she didn't like me anymore.
Well, this is true,
Wow,
but we
man.
blame it on other
I
things.
didn't want that to get out.
Oh, you didn't want that to get
No, so I put a hush
just
on,
heard.
on that.
Huh?
In October, I was like, wow, it's almost
Yeah.
October.
It's almost been a year, dude.
Yep.
Wow.
It's crazy. I do got to scoot over a little bit. I was having a one-on-one interview because Larry didn't make it. I thought that interview was great. Really enjoyed it. Actually, I wouldn't even consider it an interview. It was called a conversation, and that's what I like to do. Anyways, all right. Dinner recap. Coffee.
It's good dinner.
Thanks.
Well, look, whatever score I give it is because of Patrick, because
Apparently,
it was a hamburger,
It's your fault,
it was my
Patrick.
leftover shrimp, it was some beans. It was all Patrick. So I'll give it a 4.6. How's that? Leftover
Aw.
shrimp, they sucked because they were leftover, even though they were my shrimp and Tim made them and they were really good the other day. That's leftover. Okay. They were good, but I can't keep giving you 4.8s and 4.9s just for fucking food, man.
you set the bar,
I did.
and now
You're
I
lucky
get
you
screwed because
you got a 4.6 because of his salad.
I
he
think
screwed you from a 5 to a 4.7.
I really think you set the bar so high, and now I have to suffer. It's
Right.
like we gave the first kid who did the gymnastics and the pole vaulting and all the other shit a 5, and so
Mhm.
nobody else can get one.
Well,
now.
see, you messed up because usually I have to offer up. Do you want to hear my rating? You asked this time, or I wasn't even going to offer up. Like, hey,
So now remember
It's become a
Right.
staple on the show. People
You-
expect it now. They're
well,
like,
I
"What's
have to
coffee?"
be honest too. It was a hamburger.
Okay.
Well, they looked really good. I just ate a plain hamburger.
Can you go down and rate each item on the menu? Like,
Yes,
what-
we should start doing that. I will do that.
Patrick.
Nice. This is gonna get you in trouble because like Timmy does some really good stuff, man.
like the beans, you know.
I mean, see, now you're taking it personal. You want a hug?
No,
Okay.
fucking touch him.
Fucking touch me.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me, man.
Man. My hamburger was really good.
Oh, good.
And I had it on my salad.
Yeah, you always mix it up.
Yeah, so it was really good.
Mhm.
I-
The beans and everything. I thought it was
I
great.
do the bun on the burger because of I try to stay away from breads, but the way you had toasted them and
You couldn't resist, could
I
you?
couldn't resist. I was like, man, and then and the bacon on it.
Yeah.
See, that's where I screwed up.
You needed
I didn't have bacon. I
See,
didn't bun. I
that's
just
why
had a
you're
burger.
cranky about
I am. I am
4.6.
pissed. I'm really a cranky old man.
And
But
then
it's
and
apparently-
then I put some of the spicy mustard on with a little bit of
Ooh,
mayonnaise.
yeah.
That combination. Was
That
like,
worked.
Well, see,
Yeah.
I should just stay out of the ratings now. What did you rate it out of a 5? The whole dinner.
Oh, the burgers were like.
See, he's breaking it up, man.
4.7, 4.8 for the burgers.
Hey,
Oh, they're happy with a
we're coming up
4.8.
there.
No,
Let's
Okay.
see.
The beans were like the beans.
They're
Yeah.
beans.
Nobody beats Dwayne's beans. That's
I
hard
mean,
to do.
you know, they were Bush's baked beans. Who got the bacon?
Oh, yeah, that bacon.
Did you get the chunk of bacon out of the beans?
I don't know if I did. I got chunks of bacon.
I-
go
Oh,
up
of course.
there.
I'm saying
I
I always go for that little chunk of bacon.
Yeah,
little chunk.
if I find it,
Did you get it this time?
I had one.
Okay.
Just a little chunk. Yeah, it's good.
That was
That's the
you.
beans bacon. He got the bacon price.
Yeah.
And now it wouldn't be fair for me to rate my own salad, so I have to
He
abstain.
has to refrain.
See, but this I have to raise the bar on you because your salad is a beautiful salad. I think you got to change it up or something next time.
I don't know,
Surprise
Put
us.
some cranberries in
There
there
you go.
for him.
Or the little
I don't
orange
know,
pieces,
Patrick.
something.
The strawberries and the sweet peppers
Mm.
are
I
the
thought it
main
was
reason that I go for
fantastic.
the salad. I
Yeah.
love it.
And
Yeah.
I forgot I got a big container of croutons, so I was supposed to bring those.
Oh,
Those always make it.
Oh, off
Yeah.
with your
Are they
head.
homemade croutons or bought
No.
croutons?
No,
This one
I bought them from a deli.
Okay, I was just wondering. because I love people.
delis make good ones.
Yep.
They take the leftover bread and crouton it.
When's Larry ever going to chip in with some food or something and cook? Ever?
I brought
No,
a
no.
bag of chips
oh,
once.
No.
Never mind. Sorry. What, White
Once.
Castle?
Exactly. I got dinner this week, buddy, and it'll be fucking White Castle.
Oh, he loves White Castle. No
Oh,
bueno
yeah.
here.
He's like, look at this. These are onion
You better
sliders.
get a fan here with a
Oh, no.
Right. No bueno here.
Yeah, we'll be.
You will get
10
Oh,
minutes into
man,
the show.
Those jalapeno cheeseburgers with extra onions.
Dude, come on.
And thank you. You did bring me one months and months ago.
Yes.
I've never had one.
Oh.
If you've never lived in town, so
Yeah, right. It was pretty. I ate it. It was cold and hard.
Listen, when my normal
You got to put it in the microwave.
technique doesn't work for colon cleanse, I will have you get me some White Castle. Until that time, I will stick with a real burger.
Good one, man.
No.
Good one. That's a good
Say
one.
it ain't so. Colon cleanse.
Gotta get a colon cleanse. Apparently, Shaq's Big Burgers is open up in Heartland, huh?
Big chicken.
A big chicken? I can't
Never
read that
heard.
part of the screen.
Really?
Shaq's Big Chicken.
Big chicken.
Papa Bob put that up.
Papa Bob. Yeah, we'll have to see about Shaq's Big Chicken.
Is it just sandwiches or something? Or
Never looked at it.
because one in how the Dave's thing is just sandwiches. I think it's not like
They
chicken.
only- Yeah, they only have like 3.
Really?
The kids love it. Al and Morgan go there.
Have you been there,
I-
Jima?
I went there
haven't either.
once, and it was like 3 items and then 15 sauces,
Oh, really?
and then like
Where
2
is it at? I don't even
right
know
there
where
by.
that's
It's in the old
Used
Wendy's
to be Wendy's, yeah.
in front of
Oh, yeah.
next to
Dunham's.
McDonald's and in front of
Dunham's,
Dunham's and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Next to Taco Bell,
Really?
you know. Yeah.
It's caffeine.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't buy there. I wasn't ever interested. It's been there for a while.
I know.
That's
We
why I said
haven't
the kids
either.
love it. I thought it was too spicy, just plain. Just
Doesn't it say spicy chicken?
it's Dave's hot chicken.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm
I
just
knew.
like,
yeah, no,
yeah.
that's why I
Have
didn't.
you ever had the big chicken place that's in Lansing? We don't have around here. What's it called? The closed on Sunday. It's closed on Sunday.
Churches?
No,
No.
somebody.
Chick-fil-A.
Yes,
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. It's closed on Sunday, right? Yeah, the liberals hate or whatever. Whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Have you ever had one of those? Because I haven't.
No.
You haven't had a Chick-fil-A?
No.
I think it's incredibly overrated.
Okay.
It's not bad. It's not. You know, I've been there several times, but I don't think it's what people make it be. I don't understand the lines when you go. I never ever go through the drive-through because every time I go there, there's 200 cars in line.
No kidding.
So yeah, I go in and park and I walk inside. There's 3 people standing there. I order and I go.
Yeah, because their drive-through is like insane.
Yeah, their
Everywhere.
drive-through's
Doesn't matter
insane.
where you go.
You know, I just think it's decent food, but I don't understand the craze. It's not. I always recommend people
Is it cheap?
to go there. No, it's
No.
not cheap.
Well,
There you go. That's not
Yeah.
the draw.
There,
Yeah,
there is an epic rant from 3 years ago, maybe 3.5 years ago. We were still downstairs.
Yeah, about Chick-fil-A.
Matt, yeah,
Oh,
Our buddy
yeah,
Matt
yeah,
goes
yeah,
off. We had the people. It was on Dixie Highway there, M24. It's the same thing, right?
Yep.
We were leaving a job site. I got the truck and trailer on there. We're headed home. There's 4 lanes, and we're in the second lane from the curb, gonna get over and get on the freeway. And there is a turnaround in Michigan left. Right there in that, well, for several miles they've got those. And it's not quite lined up with the Chick-fil-A entrance. It's about a half a car width offset below it. So you should, in fact, there's signs that say no straight through. You're supposed to go down and 1 or 2 more, turn around, and then come down and get in the drive-through. And these assholes keep cutting across. And this guy, literally, we're there. The light turns yellow, and he decides he's got to get across there and get in line before somebody else does. Shoots across in front of us, blocks 3 of the 4 lanes of traffic. And when I blow my horn at him, he goes, like points at the people in front of him in line and looks at us like it's not my fault. They won't move so I can get out of your way. Matt rolls the window down and just tirades. He's like, "You selfish mother, get the fuck out of the way. I don't give a-" And then we get here and Matt goes off about it. And he's like, "I want that guy run over by a cement truck, and then picked up, raised from the dead, step on a Lego in the middle of the night, wandering through the house in the dark, and then get run over by another cement truck. And then he's like, and I'll never eat at that place. I hate that place now because it just constantly, there was 2 lanes of traffic trying to get in there. And I'm like, so I have never eaten there because of what Larry's talking about.
Oh,
And
I
drive-through
agree.
things.
The one that's on, what is that, at the mall, 12 Oaks Mall, right there?
Yeah,
Same thing.
that's
They
the one I go to.
That they never have.
Yeah.
It's always bazillion cars.
Yeah.
I went to one in the west side of Grand Rapids, and I didn't see the,
The draw.
no, at all. Nothing.
No.
Yeah.
I've
So
never
it wasn't
been
a
on
big
South.
thing to you?
No. I mean,
There you go.
the
I
food
don't need-
wasn't that exciting. It was overly priced.
Mhm.
I mean, the only thing I liked about it, I think it's a conservative owned place. So other than that,
Other than that, yeah.
yeah.
8 and 9, GMA Connie. So great to see you again. You look fabulous.
Oh, who said that?
8 of
I'm
9,
not
8.
gonna give up.
We'll tell you who it
I'll
is.
tell you her name
Nice.
later.
You've met her.
You know.
That's so
But
nice.
everybody's got their screen names. Yeah, so it's interesting. If I'm gonna go get a great chicken sandwich, my default is to go to Wendy's. I love the
Now I'll try.
the
There you go.
With a frosty,
with the chocolate frosty.
you gotta have frosty.
Gotta have a frosty. But I love the chicken bacon ranch
Mm.
with extra sauce,
Their
no tomato,
Frosties are on sale right now too.
and you get the frost.
Buck
You
a
get
piece, something like that.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just get the small one because that's all I need is just a little bit of chocolate in my life.
I've
And
never had a chicken sandwich. Serious.
what?
How old are you?
25, just had a real hard life so
Oh,
far. I mean, other than a homemade chicken
Have
sandwich, I've
you
never bought a
ever-
chicken sandwich. No.
Okay.
I'll
So
tell you what.
I'm listening, and now I
The
will try
Wendy's chicken
Wendy's.
bacon ranch is
There you
phenomenal.
go.
See?
If I'm going to go for any other type of chicken,
See?
I just give into my
Patience, virtue.
well-crafted addiction to
I'm
whatever
waiting.
chemicals that they put in it, make you crave it at 2 a.m. and go to KFC.
I used to be a big KFC. I love their coleslaw.
Oh, me
But
too.
I
Me
really
too.
do. But I haven't been doing their chicken lately.
I've
I don't
been,
know what they
uh,
changed about 4
me
years
too.
ago.
I've been like once a week,
Yeah.
once every 2 weeks.
You still doing once a week?
Oh yeah,
You do extra
Yeah.
crispy or regular?
extra crispy, which the Colonel
Oh.
hated. He hated it.
Maybe that's the
He came up with the
problem.
original recipe.
Yeah.
And then when he sold the company, they began to do stuff, and they came up with the extra crispy. And even though he stayed on as a spokesman, he came up there and just
Oh,
hated
shit.
it. Yeah, just hated it.
I don't like it either. I try and scrape off as much.
The
of it
extra
as I
crispy?
can. Yeah.
Well, get to the original. You have to scrape nothing off.
I was just going to say that. That's what did you get it for
Because
that?
my wife likes it.
How sick are you?
Oh,
Oh, so he's,
Oh, you can get a mixed bag. You can get a mixed
Yeah.
bucket.
You can get a mixed bag.
Mixed bag.
You can get a mixed bag.
You can get a mixed bag there, Larry. You ain't got white nothing, man. It's
Right.
okay. All right.
Right,
So
cool.
dinner, we had good dinner.
it was good.
Yeah.
I was trying
it was
to. I
very
got
good.
yelled at last night because I came. Hockey got shifted an hour and a half later
Yeah.
Monday, and my guest last night did not get a meal
Oh,
from the man cave,
Whoa.
and
Ooh.
let me know
Slighted.
that he felt very slighted
Oh my
that he did
goodness.
not get a fabulous meal here at the man cave. He was
Yes.
so looking forward to it, and
I'm with him, whoever he is.
I said, "Well, there's nothing I can do. I came straight from hockey, and
Could have stopped over at
And I
White
barely
Castle.
work on Mondays, let alone cook.
Could have got White Castles.
so
Call Larry.
Yeah.
You know,
Why didn't you step
Larry
up?
was sick. He was supposed to be here co-hosting with me for the show, and
I came home. I actually Friday came home from work sick,
Mm.
and that scared my wife because we've been married come Labor Day weekend 25 years. Never one time if I come home
Congratulations.
from work sick.
Wow.
So she was very concerned.
very concerned.
I had to tell her, go do what you need to do. I'll be fine. I'm going to bed.
You
so
know,
after 25 years, she was concerned that she's going to have to drop kick you over the Dipsy dumpster and get rid of you because you're sick. Huh?
Yeah.
You can't be my Larry because you've never gotten sick before.
freaking me out.
Probably the aliens, Scott.
Who
yeah.
was she, and how did she infect you?
Yeah.
What were you sick
It was
with? Just
the
like a
aliens.
fluish stomach? Not just feeling good?
You know, my kidneys ached, my back ached, and sometimes couldn't get off the.
You know what those symptoms sound like? Severe cat allergies.
Oh, I'm allergic to cats.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that.
No, I think it's legit. I think that's severe cat
You know, that-
allergies. I
that-
think that's Dr. Pepper overload
I thought
and
you were
severe
off the
cat
Dr.
allergies.
Pepper, man. You fall off the wagon and go back to Pepper or what?
No, actually, but I did leave my iced tea downstairs, so I will have to get up and go get
mercy.
If Tim,
it. I have replaced my Dr. Pepper with iced tea.
You went from 23 flavors to one.
To one.
Nice.
you like sweet iced tea or just regular?
It's the other camera.
Sweet.
Me too.
It's got to be sweet. And
There you
I
go.
found a 0 sugar sweet iced tea that is awesome.
Nice.
I will give you a little warning about iced tea.
Yeah.
Iced tea causes calcifications in your kidneys. You will get stones if you drink a lot of it after a period of time. There's a place in the United States called the Stone Belt. That's Atlanta, Georgia's
The Stone
Carolina.
The
Belt.
sweet
This
tea
is interesting
belt.
stuff.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Do you think it has to do with the sugar in the sweet tea?
Something about the tea, the sweet tea. It's not. No, it could be regular,
Regular tea?
Yeah,
So-
either one.
Yeah.
Unsweetened, huh?
Yeah.
Well, it's a diuretic.
Yeah.
So that's right there. It tells you that it pulls out the fluids in your body.
Yeah.
Huh.
So.
It causes kidney stones.
Might have to get off the iced tea, Larry.
Might have
Are
to
you
go to
hearing
water.
out of your pack now, Larry?
I am now.
You're welcome. All right, let's do this.
You're
Well,
welcome.
get ready to travel, Larry.
Where's he going?
He's going to go get his iced tea while we do the disclaimer, but I wasn't going to tell anybody that.
Oh.
So you guys didn't hear that. Strike that from the record. Strike the words. Can't handle the words.
Can't handle the truth.
Grandma is back.
Yes.
So there we go.
Do you want me to do this?
Yeah.
This is my brain. Notice this podcast is mostly raw and unfiltered and completely politically incorrect.
Incorrect.
We say Merry Christmas and the Pledge of Allegiance, especially the part about one nation under God. We thank our troops for their service.
Thank you. Thank you, Larry and Coffee.
We only
The table?
recognize 2 genders.
Dangle, no dangle.
As adults, we enjoy adult beverages.
I think that
I
might.
don't have it. I got water.
Okay.
I got water.
You got
too.
water too. That's right.
We're
That's
big
right.
drinkers
But
today.
me and Patrick are.
Don't apologize.
Works there.
We don't. We cuss, but we do not curse or swear. Figure that one out if you don't understand.
Look up the worst.
We love Jesus, but we hate religion and religious hypocrites.
Asshole.
If any of this offends you,
You should've-
don't stick around. Leave.
Should have left by now, man.
Just get out of here.
Just
should've been
don't
gone.
Stick
Just
around.
go.
Should have been gone.
Yep.
Larry likes that.
Should have been gone.
Long ago,
Yep.
when you feel it should have been gone.
Actually sounds pretty good, man.
That's for you, Larry.
Gone.
After
Oh,
all,
that's my. I know my.
words of steel.
This is my
Sounds
favorite.
pretty good, man. You got your tone going tonight.
I'm trying, buddy.
This
Yeah,
is
pretty
my
good.
favorite, Mr. Coffee.
I know.
I found
This is-
this one. I was like,
You know,
oh my
this is
God.
mine now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all yours, huh?
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, except for bears. Bears will kill you.
They just kill you. Yep.
They
kill you.
They just kill you.
Yeah. Oh, is it 8:30?
She hasn't
They-
been,
nobody-
she hasn't been
Dude.
watching the show. Has
Dude.
she? Usually I put that F
It's
in there.
8:26.
It's close
We're
enough.
like, if you're
8:26, Larry.
if there's somebody watching that's offended,
Get back.
we're not giving you a time limit anymore.
Yeah.
Well, see,
Yeah.
Grandma Connie ain't been up on it. So
Right?
What do you
Yeah.
want? You
I
know?
usually put that in there and I left it out, but Larry,
Well,
just
you
has
know,
Has to.
that
You just-
Larry's a
it's
pot
gonna trump you.
stirrer right here.
to. Oh no.
Yeah,
Stir it up.
uh-huh. Yeah, that's our Larry.
He stirs the pot, man.
He stirs the pot.
Larry-
Doesn't know how to grind it and pack it very well, but he stirs it.
Exactly.
There's like, I don't smoke weed. What are you talking about?
Patrick.
I would challenge you to a battle of wits, but I can clearly see that you are unarmed.
There it is.
I like that one.
I do too. And his voice really fits it too.
Yeah.
And Larry.
Ooh, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, comma, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That is the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution. It's issued on December 15th, 1791. It expires. Never.
From my cold, dead hands.
No expiration date.
No
Never.
expiration. Grandma, what are you thinking?
What do you got? Just put one up. I'll read it.
All right, let's do this one. You've liked this one in the past.
Which one is it?
Gotta click on the other one. There we go.
Oh, I knew you were going to do Eleanor Roosevelt. Great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people. Eleanor Roosevelt.
Eleanor Roosevelt.
Think about it.
Eleanor Roosevelt.
No, that's
That was
Eleanor
Rigby.
Rigby.
I was so close. I thought I had it,
You
man.
tried.
I tried. What's in
What
that?
is it? Checking what's in that.
It's a whiskey sour.
Hundred-
Actually,
Don't you do it.
you
Don't
can
you?
take it.
Fancy.
Is that what happens to whiskey when it gets old? It goes sour.
You throw
Yeah.
sweet and sour sauce in it, man. That's what you do.
It's
A little bit of jalapeno juice.
It's a little
No.
mix. No, that would be gross.
In the beginning of a change, the patriot is a scarce man and brave and hated and scorned. And when his cause succeeds, the timid join him, for then it costs nothing to be a patriot. Mark Twain.
Don't you want to say amen after that one?
Yes.
I do.
And give a shout out, everybody, to Tim. He has got a frog in his throat, a little congested over there. So you may not hear much from him tonight as he's trying not to cough into the microphone. So, but give him a shout out in chat. Tim does a hell of a job on the show for all of us. You guys know that, and usually contributes a lot. So, yeah, there it is. And we come to the end here. Never apologize and never explain. It's a sign of
Are your
weakness.
feelings
Her
hurt?
words down.
Oh,
Oh, girl, baby, girl.
oh, really, baby? Oh, they cannot take the
There's
words.
another motion to strike her words again.
Girl,
We're
I don't think
we are gonna move and we're gonna take your words down.
I'm not
has 4 minutes and
apologizing.
21
Well,
seconds.
then
Okay,
you're not
reserve the right to
striking your
object.
words.
I am
You're
not
not
apologizing.
Chair recognizes Ms. Green.
I repeat again for the second time. Yes, I'll
All
strike
right.
my words,
That-
but I'm not
all right.
apologizing.
Without objection. Without
Not
objection.
apologizing.
Chair
Reserving the right
recognize-
to object.
No, let's go. Come on, guys.
Come on, guys. Never apologize.
Please.
Never explain, especially when you're MTG.
The other one that I like that we didn't read tonight, and I seem to be using it a lot lately, especially when I'm dealing with the libtards, is to argue with someone who has renounced the sense of reason
Yeah.
is like administering medicine to the
the
dead.
dead.
Yeah, that's a
Mark
very good
Twain.
one. Another Mark Twain.
And I throw that up and they just have no idea. What side are you on? Like, I'm talking about you, idiot.
You have renounced the use of reason. Move along.
I want to read a quote
Give me
in
a,
our local political. Larry, no cheating. I want you guys to guess this sentence of an elected person that's running right now in your county. Listen, people, elect me and I'll do for our county what Democrats have done to communities like Flint, Lansing, and Detroit.
Oh, dear Jesus.
I should be I'll be a campaign manager. I would have gone, that doesn't sound, that's why we moved here.
Was that supposed to be a
You know who that is?
positive?
Guess who that is? Guess.
It's libtards like you that are screwing up our country.
That is off.
Meow.
Go ahead, Larry. Say who that's from, because I found that out.
No, is it?
It's Cat Dude.
Cat, that is,
He
elect me
said
and I'll
that?
do our
He
county.
He put it on his palm cards.
Can
He's
you-
handing it out to people as they went to
Jesus.
vote.
Oh my gosh, somebody needs to talk to him. Or her. Is
So-
it him or
isn't
her?
it
we
Sure.
don't know. We don't know.
Oh.
Okay, so
We're talking.
Flint, Lansing, and Detroit.
Detroit.
So
will
we
do
want bad water, gang violence, and
Poverty.
Poverty.
extreme political corruption.
And poverty.
Poverty,
Poverty.
bad stuff, drugs,
Run
gangbangers.
all the jobs up, crime rate through the
Oh,
roof, property
oh,
values
no.
in the toilet.
Not
Yeah.
what element.
What?
Element busing.
Oh,
Flint, Lansing, Detroit, they all have municipal busing.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with the bad water or the bad politics or the violence or the poverty.
Okay.
See that
Ella wants busing.
that makes sense.
That's
But
what it is.
It definitely. I read the thing. It doesn't say I will do for our transportation area, whatever, blah blah blah.
Ella,
Oh,
We're not doing that tonight.
We had to at least once, so Ella will hear what we're talking about. That quote.
Okay.
No,
That's
then we're
really
done.
sad, though.
Yeah.
It is.
It's very sad.
Ella.
Don't you? I'm gonna
Do I need to smack him?
Yes.
Jeremy?
multiple times, profusely about the head.
Oh, I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
No
out of
chocolate
the-
for you
what are you
until you
eating
can
the chocolate?
behave.
Come on,
You behave.
You go to your corner.
you go to your corner.
Okay, I won't say Ella.
Okay.
So sad. So,
Mhm.
you know,
To tell you what that's about
yeah.
No.
is the cat has a program on the cat computer
This is
Okay.
serious.
that monitors the show
Okay.
and
Monitors
marks,
this show.
Yep.
yes,
Oh, yes.
and
Okay.
marks all the areas where he hears Ella.
Oh, so he's getting brownie points or kudo points
No,
or something.
it's
No,
I can
so-
he
skip to.
so
thinks he is.
They're
Okay.
messing. Yeah, it's like they said my name. What did they say? Negative and derogatory about it.
Skip the whole
So then
program. Just go to where it's
The
talking
whole
about
last
prayer.
show,
It-
I even fed into it, and we
literally hundreds of times.
Yeah. So his little
like Elon and Trump doing a conversation on Spaces, X Spaces. We tried to break the algorithm with Ella's
yeah.
little.
Oh,
little-
by the way, the Democrats just melted down over the Elon
Big time.
Musk
Yeah.
Trump stuff.
over.
I mean, just and a matter of fact, the unions filed some sort of complaint.
as of
For what?
The unions filed some sort of
well, they also filed a lawsuit saying
labor
it was
complaint.
a contribution in kind because it was tantamount to a political stump speech that Elon had him on the platform.
What? Oh, they really pull out all the stops,
yeah.
don't they?
Oh, they're desperate.
Wasn't there
You
like
know,
a billion listeners or something or
Yes.
watchers? or
Yeah, I
something
was
like
gonna click
That's
on
huge.
that.
That is huge.
There were like 100, or there was like 72 million tuned in live.
mhm.
It and they went through a DDoS attack where it literally got attacked,
I heard about that.
and they couldn't go live for like the first 45 minutes. And
Well, that's
That's what they asked.
this
on
is what the
InfoWars, that
communists
survey.
do.
What
Yeah.
they asked, I took the survey. I'm like, what
Yeah.
are they talking about? DDoS. I didn't know what they're talking about. I didn't. hit
Yeah,
the
this is
survey
what the
button.
communists do. You know, it's just like what's going on in Heartland, which I'll get into later with racist Democrats stealing signs, vandalizing signs, and other kinds.
But you're
of
the racist.
stuff.
well,
And I am.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I mean, they're
you
going
are.
you're
after.
Definitely.
partially racist because you're black and gay, but I
right.
get
Yeah,
that.
they're going after Wes Naked Gary
You got to watch the show
because
he identifies as black and gay.
And gay.
yeah.
I took over that slot because we were missing one. No, you have to have a gay black guy. So you can't go ahead and say I'm not. I'll sue you. I can be gay and black and
Right? It's like
even
a
if I'm
10,000
straight and white.
It's like a
You know what?
$10,000
You can do
fine if
what
you
want,
misgendered.
Just don't do it around me, okay?
Have a candy.
No, I thought you were saving me.
I identify as a lesbian in a man's body.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's disgusting, Larry.
you need to move over.
Get away from her.
Just keep moving over
Don't
there.
touch me there.
You're still in camera,
Uh-huh.
unfortunately.
I know.
Uh,
I know. Darn it, I
A
tried.
distributed denial of service is a DDoS
That's
attack. Is a malicious attempt to disrupt the normal traffic of a targeted server, service, or network by overwhelming the target or its surrounding infrastructure with a flood of internet traffic. So DDoS attacks achieved effectiveness by utilizing multiple compromised computer systems of sources to attack traffic. Exploited machines can include computers or other network sources, IT devices, blah, 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 blah.
So who do you think did it? Because there was a survey. It was like Iran, U.S.
What was Ella doing that day?
Who do you think, Jeremy? Because they said Iran, Russia, U.S. and spies and one other or something, some other China. That's what they put up on Infowars, and I was like, I don't even know what a DDoS is, so I'm
you
not
know
going
what?
to touch it.
I had
Julio
not.
Sashi.
Larry, none of these people have the resources to be cleanly, let alone operate a computer. Okay.
Who do you think did it?
The Democrats.
I was thinking
Yeah.
U.S. did it.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah.
I
Well,
didn't-
they're,
I
they're
guarantee.
trying to.
Yeah.
They're trying to blame everything on these other countries that it's
Right.
coming in and we're getting attacked and all that stuff.
All
But
roads.
you can't tell me that there's not people in the United States pulling this shit.
I'm
Well,
gonna,
it's now that I know what a DDoS is, like I would answer U.S.
Yeah.
or a spy agency.
Yeah.
all roads lead to Obama.
I didn't
for
spec.
crying out
Well,
loud.
That's
I
who
didn't.
did it.
I didn't speculate or think about who could have done it. I just acknowledged that it was done. But now that you ask me, I would say NSA or CIA.
That's what one. It was number 2, I think, on the thing.
I mean,
Yeah.
Secret Service
Which
has elements
that
in it
road
that are
leads
trying to
to
kill our
Obama.
presidents.
Now I wonder.
Yeah.
Guys, go ahead. I'm gonna see what the survey is now.
Check that out. Is
Oh,
That's really good
Make sure.
iced tea.
that good iced tea?
It is good iced tea.
Very good.
Not quite sweet enough. They should make it just a little bit.
So we'll go over that a little bit more. Some of the Trump, Elon spaces.
Just remember
But Grandma Connie's returned, and
Mm-hmm.
people have been asking since you were last on the show 10 months ago, apparently. How you've been? How you been doing? Do you want to give a
I'll
recap for
give a
everybody?
little recap. It's been a rough road. I have small cell lung cancer. I went through 4 treatments at 3 days apiece of chemo, which by the 3rd one was seriously bad. Got done with the chemo and went into radiation treatment, and that was a 10-day stretch. And that put me down about 5 days. I mean, there was times I couldn't walk or I couldn't go down the hall without holding on to stuff because I didn't have any strength whatsoever. But I was blessed through the whole thing. My grandson and great-grandson blessed me tremendously. They brought me breakfast in bed. They brought me dinner in bed. They helped me, throughout the whole thing. They cleaned the house, all the good stuff that you need help with. I mean, I couldn't make meals. I couldn't do, once the chemo, that chemo is it's real tough. And I'm a healthy person. So when you pull me down and I can't go, it's scary. And now I'm in immunotherapy, and I think I have to go. I'll find out tomorrow. I thought tomorrow would be my last treatment, and I got onto my chart, and I'm getting a little weepy, but because I have to go through, it looks like I'll talk to the doctor tomorrow, but I have to go through November with the immunotherapy, and that also fatigues me. And it zaps me. I
What is
don't, you know what?
immunotherapy?
What it's supposed to do is help me to
Right.
build up my immunity. So they give you amino acids and they give you like a cocktail. So I still have a port right here.
Yeah.
So they stick a needle in there, and I have to sit for 2 hours to get the treatment.
Okay.
So that'll be tomorrow. And it's been rough, but let me tell you, I've been happy. I've been out seeing my friends. I walked to Jeremy's work. We walked 3.26 miles.
Oh,
Yeah. Yesterday.
nice.
We've taken bike rides. That little boy that lives with me keeps me going, and I'm just really, really, really grateful to the Lord for what I have.
Nice.
What I have. We have been doing really, really good, and I'm on the mend. I'm just going to look at it that way. I told the boys when it all came down, they live with me, so they see me every day. I lost my hair. How do you like my hair, people?
We love your hair.
It's
Love it,
growing
yeah.
out.
Cool.
And I kind of look cute, so I'll keep it. I get lots of compliments. People don't know me, and they go, "Oh, I love your haircut." And it's like, it's not a haircut. It's a grow out. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not something I wanted, you know.
Well, it looks
But
stylish.
it's
Yeah,
it,
it is.
it works.
It does.
Yeah.
JoJo, like I
Yeah.
said, do the JoJo thing.
No, she
Yeah.
did.
That's cool.
She did go see Elizabeth over
I did.
at the hair crew.
I
there.
did have her trim it up. I said, you know, even though it's growing out and everything, I would like to have it look, you know, like I did it on purpose. You
Mhm.
know, I get a lot of compliments on it, and
Yeah.
I'm out and about now. I wasn't out and about for a good 6 months.
First thing I said when you had your back to me and I walked in the door, looks
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
So everything's good. I'm on the mend. I mean, we're going forward. And thank you so much for all your prayers. If you prayed for me, I really appreciate
Charlotte
it.
Cosmic says hello.
Yeah, I really.
I believe our whole audience that knew you
I'm
a year
sure,
ago
yeah.
were definitely in prayer.
Yep, and I can breathe. And that was the biggest thing. That was the problem was I could not breathe. Literally could not breathe. So
That sucks.
walking down the hallway was not so I didn't have energy, but the fact you got to breathe, and I couldn't catch my breath.
Right.
There was no depth to catching my breath.
Well, and where the tumor was right at the top of your lungs near your
Right by my esophagus.
yeah.
And so when they did the radiation, I have, if you see spots on my chest, I don't know where it is, but they tattooed me so that when they do the radiation, they would pinpoint exactly where they want. Well, unfortunately, because of where it was in my lung, it was also in my esophagus. So guess what? Swallowing and eating after the radiation was horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
I had to take a cocktail of Mylanta, Benadryl, and lidocaine.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow, lidocaine?
Lidocaine, 'cause that freezes it or numbs it.
Yeah, numbs it.
Yeah, because I couldn't swallow. And so think of it when you swallow to get to your stomach, and it's open. It doesn't ever close because it's been damaged. So that was real rough.
But
that's kind of subsided now. I'm good.
So the cyst is gone now.
The tumor?
Yeah.
The tumor.
Well, they've shrunk. I don't know if it's completely gone. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow because they're going to do some more testing on me.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is I can breathe.
Right.
So that's how I look at it, is like I can breathe, because it was not only in my lung, it was also in my thigh. So they radiated my thigh as well. But my thigh never hurt, you know, and I never really hurt. I just couldn't breathe. And if you've ever been in that position, it's scary as all get out.
Yep.
This is something that you don't want ever to go through.
Charlotte,
Twice I thought I was going to die.
Charlotte was asking if I saw InfoWars. They had a Rife technology show. I have. And one of these days we'll start going down the path of talking about the different technologies. And well, not even just technologies, but the homeopathic. But one of the things that I learned through Mom's cancer with her eye and then her lung cancer, one of the things I learned, and I love, I'm into extreme alternative methods and everything like that. But one of the things I was talking with the Lord about this, and you know, everybody makes suggestions. Everybody, until you're face to face with something and you're dealing with it, you can have a whole bunch of information. You can have a whole bunch of things, but when you're faced with it and deal with it, that's when you come to decisions, you know. And I love everybody. I've done a ton of stuff, you know, not being really ever sick like Larry was. I've done a ton of stuff, and I'm always trying stuff. Always, you know. I love using DMSO on a lot of things. If you guys don't know that, look it up. Dimethyl sulfur oxide. That's a phenomenal product. Anytime I get bruised at hockey, which is
Every time?
not every time, but enough. I put that on there. My bruises heal in 25% of the time.
Will it help my ego?
If we put enough of it on your head. When my eyesight started, when I started to need reading glasses,
Really?
I ended up at a 2.5 at one point. Well,
I take, there's a gal out of Canada. She makes a whole bunch of products out of DMSO, straight DMSO, and then other mixes. And one of them is an ocular mix. So it's diluted, I think, to 40 parts or 40%. And I do the eyedroppers. No, I don't do it. I did it consistently well enough to take me down to a 1.5. And if I would keep doing it consistently, in the morning and in the evening, I know it would continue to go down. I've reached a point where I'm like, yeah, all right. Sometimes you don't address things until it becomes life-threatening or big problem.
Well, I had a lot of people, and I think this is something that I would like people to understand is I had a lot of people, well, did you try this? Did you try that? Did you do this? Did you do that? Honey, I have been a vitamin healthy for a long time. I went through the cancer of my eyelid and changed my diet and everything. Yes, I've tried it all. Mm-hmm. But there comes a point where you have to get help. You have to go to the conventional. I don't give a shit what your name is. My tumor on my eye grew back twice. I had 10 surgeries on it. It was not fun, but we couldn't get it to quit growing. It was aggressive. And the same thing with this small cell lung cancer. If you look it up, it's very aggressive.
But you changed your diet along with going through the treatment.
Yeah. So I went through a natural path to find out what I was lacking, whether it was magnesium, potassium, just name them all. Mm-hmm. And then I got on a regimen and became healthy. And so I got bronchitis, pneumonia, and it turned into cancer. And, I went and took care of it. And honestly, when you're in it, you don't want somebody going, well, did you try the natural stuff?
Yeah.
Because I'm dying here, And it's like, if you know me, you know that I've always been into natural stuff. I've always been into vitamins. So that was
they tried to do
that was hard for me because it was like, have you tried the alternatives? And it's like, okay, you just did an open question. What are you talking about? What is the alternative that you would like to tell me about? Because if somebody came up to me, one of the ladies came up to me and she said, oh, have you tried this? Because I heard it was really good. You did that tonight. Have you tried the blueberries?
No, I didn't say
that. It was his. It was Larry. Mm-hmm. It was his.
Yeah, that's to help with your immune
system. But yeah, I do. You're across from me. I can't see him, so.
Blame that guy over there.
You got that guilty look going.
Yeah. So you're it.
I'm sitting on this side of her, so she might miss.
He's trying to avoid getting hit, but
he's leaning over like this.
Well, you guys did mention blueberries 3 weeks ago about for something.
No,
and I think, and the thing is, it's not
it's important that people just understand that if you have something to contribute. Yeah. Don't put an open-ended question on somebody who's dealing with cancer.
Right.
Because it's frustrating.
And we had multiple conversations about this because the majority of the people that were saying stuff were genuinely concerned. We're suggesting things. And I came back here and I'm obviously praying for my mom and in there. And I really talked to the Lord and I said, what I said, give me something, Lord, to wrap my head around this. And he said, what works for you works for you.
Yes.
And I've seen people that have gone through chemo and radiation and come out clean on the other side. I've seen people that reject the whole medical system and do a blood cleansing alternatives, right? They pull your blood out of here and they run it through what do they call those, Patrick? Not a light. Yeah, violet light. Yeah. Well, there's ones where they actually oxygenate the blood and then bring it back in. I was just listening to a podcast the other day from a group that I love, Alpha Vedic. And this gal does this whole oxygen. They have an oxygenating machine and she's just going through the list, just thing after thing after thing after thing that they do. And the main guy on there, Dr. Berlando, he says, I used to do the blood where we would hook them up and then bring the blood out, oxygenate the blood, and then bring it back. He said, but these other techniques now, you don't even have to do that. You just use the machine and however they do it with the oxygen, and you can do it on all sorts of different things. And it's like a 3 times the amount of oxygen that you're getting. And she's just going through the list of the things that it takes care of. That's one area. There's a doctor out of Germany that has people sit out in the sun for, they do it right? So they're not getting sunburned. But people with skin cancer, he puts them out in the sun and they get cured of their skin cancer, and people go, well, how's that? I thought the sun gave you cancer. No, usually you're getting skin cancer from the garbage sun blockers that we're putting on that are all chemicals and the other plastics and garbage. So there's all these different alternatives, all these different things.
And that's exactly what my point is. There's so many alternatives. So when you come at a person, and say, well, have you tried alternatives? Don't do that when somebody's going through something serious. Say what you have to say about an alternative.
Well,
like if you have a testimony to say, I did this.
Chelation. It's called chelation.
There you go.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
It's called chelation therapy.
See, I
yes.
would never suggest anything.
Chelation, yeah.
I would ask what you did.
Right.
I would go, what helped you? So if I'm going to go through that, I would know what helped you.
Well, I'll tell you, protein, and I'm on a lot of InfoWars. I'm on vitamin B12. I'm on Brain Force. I'm on a prenatal vitamin.
Turmeric.
I'm on.
How many you're taking the turmeric?
I am bodies.
Yeah.
I take 3 of those a day. I'm on. What else am I on? I'm on the D, and a couple others. And Vince, he keeps introducing stuff. He got me into.
Are you doing the nitric boost yet? That's the oxygenator.
I don't know if we do that. He brings
No, I
it.
guarantee
He goes,
you.
here, try this, Grandma.
Yeah.
But there's a one that it was a citrus boost that he got me on because it's for cancer. But yeah, I mean, I'm working the best I can with what I have, and that's why I look good.
Well, and that's why, again,
Because if I didn't do any of that, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'd be home in bed.
Let me ask you a stupid question. Did
Go
the
ahead.
hospital?
no stupid questions, only stupid people.
None.
Right, I ask lots of questions. I have lots of questions. I love asking questions because then I get answers. Does the hospital system go, hey, try some nitric boost or whatever else you meant to? They just go take the chemo and go home and see you in a while.
No, they give you no information. They don't. I mean, they say that you can get a nutritionist, to talk to, but they don't offer you any alternatives, and they don't say like, okay, drink juice or make sure you eat right or make sure you do this. Or there is no guideline for food.
Is this because?
vitamins.
And I probably should ask you this. Do you think? Well, I'll ask you all of it. You think it's because they want to?
Oh, of course.
Take one of these pills. Take this pill.
Oh, of course.
And
I'll be honest with you, it's not just that. It's ignorance.
It's ignorance, and it's also the training.
Yes, it is their training.
If Patrick can speak to this too, that the medical community, they are completely indoctrinated in the schools, in the colleges. They get 5 hours of elective nutritional therapy, which your gut biome, they're curing kids right now
That's huge.
of autism, kids on the spectrum, by simply cleaning up their gut biome, by just helping flush out the toxins in their gut from the stomach to their rectum,
Microbiome.
and getting
it's
getting
like the second. They call it your brain.
your second
real
brain. Yeah, and they're flushing that, helping kids flush that out, detoxing these kids, and they're watching them balance right out, and all of the autistic or Asperger or any of the other things that put them on the spectrum of having those things, they're watching them go away. But that doesn't give you a client for life.
I got to interject this here. I've been sitting on this for a while, and ever since you started this conversation, I read an article just earlier today about how many doctors who are right on the cutting edge with breaking therapies and breaking research that they had with cures for cancer that mysteriously ended up dead.
Yep.
Lots of them.
Mm-hmm.
To just recently, there were 8 doctors on a flight going over, and they just fell out of the sky. I don't know if you the plane just fell straight out of the sky.
Almost like that one in Brazil the other day. Came pancake.
That's the one.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Okay, that's one.
There were 8 doctors on there who were going to.
Now,
a conference to reveal their research on cancer. They felt they had a cure for cancer.
Amazing.
They were literally flying to the, I'm going to scroll down to
I
InfoWars because
saw
they had it on
I
there.
saw that when it happened like 5 minutes after and they went live or whatever. I was like,
Because I watched it. Did you watch the video of the one doctor explaining it?
Yeah.
I can't remember where it is. I'm going to look at see if it's in my X feed because I saved. But there's a doctor, one of the doctors that died in that plane crash. I literally watched. There it is. I got it right here. Let's go to this real quick.
he looks like he's
Tim's
18.
over there. Let me see.
Maybe
I will
19.
play it.
He looks so young now.
All right, let me back it up. This is only a minute and a half, and I'm going to go full screen.
There is, however, one subset of T cells that tumors are very happy to have, and that's the regulatory T cells. So unlike the conventional T cells, they're usually not designed to kill. They inhibit specific immune responses, and solid tumors are really enriched in these cells. So what I found is that if I take a page from the CAR T cell book and put a CAR targeting a tumor antigen on the Treg, this CAR Treg actually kills the tumor cell. And compared with the naturally activated Treg, it makes a lot more inflammatory cytokines, including interferon gamma and TNF alpha and others. And so what we're finding then is that something about the way the CAR signals in the Treg makes it become less suppressive, less inhibitory, and more pro-inflammatory and cytotoxic. So our hope is that because Tregs are this ability to infiltrate solid tumors, if you can put a CAR in them that targets solid tumors, actually infiltrate and destroy the solid tumor. And in addition, it's been shown as inflammatory cytokines further reprogram, destabilize the suppressive immunomicroenvironment of the solid tumor. So the idea here is to have this Trojan horse, this CAR Treg, that will traffic to solid tumors and kill the cells when it's there and help recruit more inflammatory immune cells over there. And so right now we have a lot of data in vitro on what these CAR Tregs look like after activation, what their chemokine expression level is like, chemokine receptors as well. We're currently doing immunocompetent mouse models to test how powerful these CAR Tregs are in solid tumors. Come by my poster on Sunday.
So
And he died.
he was one of the 8 that was in the. In fact, here's the headline. This man was on that plane. He discovered a way to program regulatory T cells. So your T cells are your help me, Patrick. The T cells are your immune cells.
Right.
Yeah, but I was trying to. They're specific. But that's literally just the
Like your white blood cells.
white blood cells.
Right,
Yeah. Yeah. So the T cells to attack the tumors is a huge breakthrough. Look at this. Showed 90% remission in the lab. They're moving to animal trials. If it works, it basically ends cancer. And his plane exploded. Why did that go to the top when I clicked on that? That's weird. These are not articles that I've wanted to get to yet. Okay. I'm going to try that again.
Was that gentleman there on that plane?
Yeah.
He was on the plane, Dr. Leo Ferraria.
I heard.
Ferreira. Anyway, so that's the video. You guys can check that out. In fact, I will. How do I post that in chat? Anyways, you guys can look that up. But that's what you were talking about, Patrick. Is there's cures for. Here's the thing. Whenever somebody says something to me about a cure for cancer, I never discount it. I pay attention to it. But I also realize this. He's talking about a blanket cure for cancer, empowering the T cells. But most people don't even understand cancers, tumors, other things like that. A cancer is simply a cell in your body that has
Gone rogue.
that has changed its mitochondria identity and didn't get taken out. It could be empowered by sugar. It could be empowered by biotoxins. It could be empowered by a number of different things in your environment or in your body that are powering it to stay alive, even though it has mutated from its original design, its original role. At a certain point, your body recognizes that it can't take it out and creates a tumor to encapsulate it, to sequester it from the body, to remove it from the body. The medical community wants to take out the tumor instead of ever finding out what caused the mutation and what is feeding the mutation in the first place. And so,
That would be too much diet and nutrition.
and most people get a tumor removed, and what happens?
It spreads.
It spreads because now they've taken away the body's natural mechanism to protect itself by creating a tumor. And instead of finding, and so whenever I hear somebody talk about a cure for cancer, there are thousands of cancers, and there are simultaneously thousands of cures for cancer. What works for somebody? There's a guy that ended up having to run to Mexico because the FDA came after him and tried to put him in jail and do all that stuff. You know what happened? He had tumors throughout his whole gut, throughout his whole stomach and gut area, right? He went on an all meat diet. He tried this, he tried that. He was a doctor. He tried this, he tried that, tried this, tried this. Finally, he went on an all meat diet. Tumors shrank, went away, done. His wife, I believe it was something in their environment that was causing this, because his wife came within the similar time frame, all of a sudden has a whole bunch of tumors in her gut. He says, well, worked for me to do all meat. I'm going to put her on all meat. Tumors exploded even further.
Yep, didn't work for her.
Didn't work. And he said, all right, got to reset. He said, okay, put her on a total vegan diet. Tumors shrank, went away, disappeared. He began to actually address each individual according to their individual makeup, and saw success after success after success of curing people of these cancers, having their tumors shrink. So much so that the government came after him and he had to run away to Mexico to practice.
What was their reasoning to go after him? Tax evasion or some
No,
shit?
they just don't want them to shut.
Right,
Yeah.
but they would have to have a justification to
No.
Here's the justification.
Unless just killing him or the plane drops. I'm just
No.
saying.
Well,
if somebody were to ask why you chasing him out of the country, they'd have to
Canada,
answer.
they took
Well, fuck
doctors out
Fuck them.
completely,
Excuse
took
my language.
everything.
Here's the thing. You cannot, you've heard this, right? You see something late at night, or you go on InfoWars and pick up a product. What does it say? What's the disclaimer at the bottom?
I've never read the disclaimer.
The disclaimers all say something about this is not medical advice. This is not a cure. This is not this. The only doctor that has ever won a victory against the FDA and was able to say that something cured something that the FDA and the medical community didn't approve of is Dr. Joe Wallach. And he wrote a best-selling book called Dead Doctors Don't Lie.
Mm-hmm.
And the company he started is called Longevity. And Tanya and I still get products from Longevity. And in fact, there's a number of products I know people at this table get that are either directly from Longevity or are privately labeled and are actually Longevity products. So the 90 for life is a huge one. I know you guys still take the tangy tangerine and the 90, which is the tangy tangerine is the 90 for life.
There's
So
a blood orange in your drawer I took earlier today because I wasn't feeling good.
Yeah.
It was red. The history behind the word cure coffee is what happened. They legislated that only something that was classified an FDA-approved drug can be claimed to be a cure for anything. So any doctor that was presenting any other thing that was not a drug
could be sued.
Was in using the word cure was being run out of the country.
Yep.
So the minute you say, hey, I have this patient, we put him on this,
You're
and
talking
they were
about Gerson,
cured.
weren't you?
Yes.
Gerson.
Yeah, Gerson was the one that ended up in Mexico.
Docon 6049 said the medical community will never want the cure for cancer. Way too much money to be made. Sure.
Yeah.
When you can cure somebody for $400, put him on CBD, put him on Rick Simpson oil, doing the Rife. That's what was mentioned earlier, the Rife technology. So Rife technology, for those of you that don't know, to encapsulate it, make it simple, is simply sound waves. It's dialing into the Rife, Royal Rife machine is simply sound waves, and you find they know the different frequencies okay, so a microwave, you put something in a microwave. Do you know why drier items, like a piece of bread versus a beverage, takes longer to heat up? Because a microwave is tuned to the 120-degree frequency of a water molecule. The H2O, so one oxygen, two hydrogens, that molecule always forms at 120 degree between the two hydrogens and the oxygen. And they will form and fit together, right, inside the molecular structure. But the reality is every single molecule has that frequency. Like you put up the antenna on your radio, if you remember how to do that, old radios, the antenna, and then you don't see the other internal part, but where you move that antenna for your radio, you are closing or lengthening the frequency. So when you're tuning into a station in the later bandwidths of your radio and you move the antenna a certain way, it opens up to catch more of that frequency within that radius. A microwave is tuned to 120 degrees. It's a microwave, and it sends that wave to that water molecule, and it excites that molecule, causes it to oscillate. And so what it's doing is making that water molecule within your food vibrate. And that vibration, of course, creates heat and heats up your food. And that's, some people, Vince and I had this discussion for a number of years about that. And he's like, well, that's this. And I'm like, look, heat on your stove, heat on your grill, those also have frequency dynamics to this where they're heating up different elements within your food. So if you think it's, because people heard microwave and thought it was, had something to do with nuclear technology. It does. It's simply just a wave. Now,
Yeah, but they do still use the term
nuke it.
Nuke it.
Yeah.
It's always nuke it.
Right. But so it gains a whole bunch of mystique and a whole bunch of, on one side, it freaks people out. On the other side, it's literally just targeting the water molecule and making it oscillate.
There's a thing.
Yeah, there's
it's
no
been around
radiation
for a little while. It's called HIFU, high frequency ultrasound.
Yes.
And it's like, you ever seen the commercial? Is it real or is it Memorex?
Right.
It's, where the gal's singing and she shatters a glass.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's real. I mean, you can shatter a glass with frequencies. Well, it does the same thing for tumors, cancer cells. The frequency is so high that it obliterates those cells.
Yeah. And that's another one. So the Royal Rife, that one, what was the other, with the not ketosis? What's the one you said earlier?
Chelation therapy.
Chelation therapy. There's a ton of these out there, and they want to keep suppressing them. Yeah. They want to take down their planes, because just like the jab that people through the pandemic got, this is a money-making machine to keep people sick. Yep. I would encourage everybody, and we'll move on to more of the news tonight, but this is a great discussion.
Yeah, they don't want you healthy. They want to keep you sick. This is not healthcare. This is sick care.
They didn't give me anything, Mr. Coffee. They didn't give me any ideas of go home, maybe you should up your zinc, up your C's. I mean, that would have been the first thing that I would think of, is that they would get me on C and zinc because I had pneumonia.
Wouldn't you think that let's say if you happen to come across a good doctor that would sit there and, I'm just saying, like somebody that really knew that some of these other things might work for you, would suggest, or are they under like the thumb of getting sued or something if they go, try this blue pen and try this whatever from InfoWars or whatever? Are they held back from maybe suggesting that?
To some extent, yeah. And if you understand the naturopath doctors that aren't in the medical community, because they have to take a certain oath to be in this medical, and so they won't give them a license. It's like when I go to the naturopath and I want a gut health thing and I need magnesium and I need the turmeric and I need, I spent like $500 a month or more on my supplements. There was no insurance to cover. And that should be wrong. In my book, it is wrong.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? This doctor, she said, I don't guess, I test, my naturopath. And I had to take tests, blood tests. And she ran all of the stats, all of the things that you could think of that your body has, and my immunity was in the toilet when I had my eye surgery. So that's, why is it that these people who want to do the natural alternatives, want to do the supplementation and actually see what your body's doing by these tests. Because she'd test me, put me on a regimen,
Once you think
go back, test me, say, okay, we
Mhm.
can back off of this one. Let's keep up with this one. And I'm going to add this one to you.
Wouldn't you think in a perfect world that the medical doctor and
Would
the,
do-
and the
yes.
natural would work to? Do you know what I was just going to do that? I was just going to do that. Wouldn't you think they'd be like, you know what? I'm going to send you down to
Yes.
Larry down there, you know,
Yes.
and or Larry, come here, you know, and I'm the regular doctor. What do you
Yep.
think about this? And you know, you could work together.
Yes.
You would think, wouldn't you?
Well, personally, I wish that they would. And I
Right.
also wish that, insurance companies would
Right.
look at these supplements and go, you know what? It's better than taking all these drugs
Right.
that aren't doing any good, or, they're just masking the symptoms and stuff like that. Yeah, I would love it. Why are we penalized for wanting to go the natural route?
Right. And why? Yeah,
Because the
no
money.
money in it. That's why.
It
everything.
truly is.
There's
Yeah.
no money in it.
There's no money.
Bottom line.
Yep.
I went downstairs to see if I could find my books. I don't know if they're packed away or where they're at. They're not on my bookshelf downstairs. But I was going to suggest you guys look up. I was trying to find out whether it was in a book called Heresy or a book called Orthodoxy. They're both written by G.K. Chesterton. They actually weren't even books. They were collections of essays that he had written over time. And he wrote these in the late 19th century, meaning 1890s. He wrote this, and he writes a phenomenal essay. And you would think he was writing it today, other than a couple language variations. All right. And he was British, but this whole essay talks about healthcare. And he said it shouldn't be called healthcare because if you're healthy, you don't need care. We should call it sick care. But if we called it sick care, then nobody would go and seek out care for the sickness because they would feel the stigma. So we call it healthcare. And he goes and breaks down these whole dynamics of the way we think about things. And even then in the 1890s, he was talking about it being a model for money and keeping people in a place of being sick. So I would encourage everybody to take an opportunity to look up. It's either in the one book Orthodoxy or it's in the other one. It's Heresy.
One last thing
Yeah.
on this subject. 8 and 9 says, I see a doctor that doesn't accept insurance so he can take care of his patients his way, not the way insurance companies say to do things. And I said, right, 8, I get that. But 90% of the people
Can't afford
can't
that.
afford
We're
to see a
in-
doctor
yeah.
for
Well, the
50
standard
bucks.
procedure is to go to the doctor and get you pharmaceutical drug, and that's going to fix
And it-
you. And then you got to go back and,
Yeah,
it's
but
a
somebody is
conti-
covering somebody amount.
Exactly, but-
If she's paying the full amount, a lot of people
How
can't
many-
afford that.
I got
gotta
a question.
I have
for
to
you.
pay full amount until I reach $7,000. So
Yeah.
my
Of your
yeah.
Wow. That's,
Yeah, I go see the doctor, I pay the bill. I go to get my meds. I have to pay for them. There's the days of good health care went out the window with Obamacare. It's I mean, I had great health care before Obama came along and fucked it
Obamacare.
up.
You betcha.
And
You
he
betcha.
fucked it up.
You betcha.
Did you?
And
Did
I
you
have
say?
people say, "Oh, we
There's
like
no
it.
other
we
way
like
to
it."
talk
No,
about
it's awful.
health care. The only thing you can say with Obamacare is Obamacare fucked up our health care.
I agree.
There's no other way to
Larry,
describe it.
Obviously, you didn't read the print where you can keep your fucking doctor, man.
Yeah.
He said,
Listen,
you're gonna keep. What
if
did
you
he
got a
say?
doctor,
you know what?
you're gonna be able to keep your doctor.
I really got good doctor in
That's the way it
Flint,
is.
and he would treat me with vitamins. He had vitamins right in, and he was a I don't know what. Oh, what do they call it? Osteopath.
Dio. Yeah,
Dio,
Dr. Buzz Dio.
And he
Sure,
was
sure.
good, but he didn't hand out prescriptions. He'd say, I need to get you on this.
Yeah.
B12 or B complex, or
Yeah.
I need you to get on this.
Sure.
And he had it available for me.
Sure.
Of course, he retired. I said,
Yeah.
what am I going to do? Because He's retired.
You know, real quick, well, Dr. Hayner, I'm with a Tassi here in Howell. When I left Hamburg, I had Dr. Hayner for about 15 years. He was exact my age. And I would go in there and I go, man, I just, whatever. I felt a little twitch next to over here. He'd do a whole bunch of tests. And then as time went on, after about 15 years, he goes, Stacy, I'm thinking, and he's my age. And at that time, I was probably in my 50s. He goes, I'm thinking of just fucking taking my money, retiring, and going to Florida. I go, what's that? He goes, IHA is taking over and telling him, well, go ahead and give Stacy some aspirin when he feels this, but don't do any tests until it feels it over here. Don't do any more tests until he feels it down here. And he wants to do all the tests to catch whatever it is real early. He was getting pissed.
Yeah.
He was getting pissed because he was old school. He wanted to do and catch it early. Didn't matter if he had the sniffles. He might be checking you for something more than the sniffles.
Probably believed in these freaky people, these founding fathers that were extremists, like Franklin, who said that an ounce of cure is worth a pound of treatment, something like that.
Yeah.
Or an ounce of treatment is worth a pound of cure.
With the doctor
whatever.
now.
It's just these crazy people that thought that, if you fix stuff early, you don't have to deal with a big horrendous thing later.
Well, now, this is what I experienced. Okay. I went to the urgent care when I got the bronchitis. Okay. They treated me for bronchitis, gave me antibiotics. A month later, I went back because the bronchitis didn't get better. And they treated me again for the bronchitis. But now I've got pneumonia. Now I've got a spot on my lung. Okay. You need to go and see a doctor. Well, I'm in Howell. I don't have a regular doctor here yet. Blah, blah, blah. So let me tell you, between October and November, I called one doctor because they have those little brochures. You go into urgent care, they have doctor's brochures, you can pick whoever you want. So I picked it and I called and I said, I'd like to make an appointment. I have pneumonia. And of course I'm coughing and can't talk and everything. And I have a spot on my lung. They took all my information, all of it, right? I was on the phone for a half hour and I said, okay. She said, well, I have an appointment for you in June. And I lit up. I said, I will be dead by June. I can't breathe. She goes, oh, well, I'm sorry. Why did you take all my information if you can't get me in until fucking June?
Right.
Goodbye. Thanks for nothing. Call the next doctor because I got to find a doctor. I got pneumonia. I got a spot on my lung. I'm sick, right? February. This is November.
Jesus Christ.
I can get you in February 6th. I said,
well, because of Obamacare, there's a line of people that get in. We're actually a hell of a lot better than we were if you
what is
were
this?
in
Is this Canada?
You're lucky if you can get it in a year. There are companies that I've sold MRIs to, set up an entire imaging center in Detroit. Told them in Michigan you have to have a CON in order to get an MRI. And they said, no, we don't. I said, yes, you do. And they said, no, we don't, because we're not servicing Michigan. We are servicing only Canadian citizens who are willing to come across that border and pay us cash because they can't get in to get an MRI done for over a year.
Well, they finally sent me to the hospital. Yeah. And the hospital took care of me, did the whole whatever they had to do. And the doctor there, thank God for him. I can't remember what his name is right now. He was awesome. He goes, honey, he said, you need to see a doctor. I said, let me explain to you. And I just told you guys.
Right.
And I said, I'm upset because I can't get into a doctor. How many do I have to call before they say they're going to get me in? I'm telling you, I have pneumonia with a spot on my lung.
Right.
Okay. I already know this. And I can't get in to see a doctor. He said, I will get you in. That was on a Friday. I was in the doctor's office on Monday. I was in the pulmonologist on Wednesday.
Nice.
And by the following Monday, I had one of, what do they call it? A bronch.
Where they go down?
Yeah.
And look.
Yeah. Well, they took a biopsy, like a colonoscopy, a bronchiostomy or something.
Just
like
from
that.
the other end.
No, they go down and they took, that's when, they got me in fast.
Nice.
And you know what the pulmonologist said? We always save time for people like you.
Nice.
Who get sick, haven't been sick, these other people, I'm sorry, you know what? Go get your wellness check. Make sure that you get your Medicaid wellness check. They call me all the time, Medicare. wellness check. You got to come in for your check. You got to do this.
Mhm.
That's a joke. That's
Mhm.
Obamacare, as far as I'm concerned.
Mhm.
Obamacare.
You go in. Well, they book these people. They call them up and say, "Hey,
Mhm.
you got to come in for your wellness check."
Once a year,
And they, so they've got all these people. They have no space for
Mhm.
sick people.
yeah. Right.
If I called a doctor's office and said I have pneumonia with a spot on my lung, I am a new resident in this area and I need a doctor, and you tell me you can't get me in until June from October,
That's fucked up.
no, yeah, I say
That's
more.
fucked up.
And what I'm saying is, what happened to doctors helping us?
Oh, it depends on
Now,
how much money.
let me say something else.
Yep.
It's going to get a whole lot worse.
They're going to
It's
get.
going to get a whole lot worse because we got people pouring across that border, and every one of them is getting Medicare, and they're all going to be not putting pressure on our medical system. So you think it's a long wait now? We're not
They just
producing that many more
had a
doctors.
thing on the news of a hospital saying we're turning away Americans, black, white, green, whatever, and packing in these illegals for just checkups and and stuff, and we don't have time to
Wow.
see you.
Exactly.
And they're going bankrupt because they're treating them for
Harris
free.
and Biden are sending illegals to the VA hospital.
Oh,
How about this, guys?
very cool.
How many of us, I won't even ask how many remember this. How many knew that multiple hospitals went bankrupt during the pandemic?
Oh, I knew.
Oh,
I
yeah.
knew that.
You have a pandemic, something
Multiple
so
went
horrible that
bankrupt.
all these people are dying, but you had hospitals that
Empty.
went bankrupt and were empty and went out of
And
business.
laying off nurses.
Listen,
Explain that
That's
to me
not-
like I'm Kamala and 4 years old. How does a hospital during a medical crisis
Okay, can I explain that to
go
you?
out of business?
Can I explain that to you?
Like I'm 4 and Kamala.
not the first time either. This happened under
Hospitals,
Obamacare.
there are two areas in a hospital that make them money. The OR, the emergency room is an entrance into the OR. The OR and imaging, diagnostic imaging, okay? All planned surgeries during this
Pandemic, yeah.
were canceled. They were shut down. So all that money that they would normally make, all the routine scheduled diagnostic imaging,
Cancer
was
screenings,
shut down.
all the other,
All
yeah, everything.
cancer screening,
Yeah.
PET scans, MRIs, everything was shut down. And the only thing that they were doing for in the stage 1 trauma centers were screening patients for COVID. That's all they were doing, and filling the hospitals up with COVID patients. Everything else was canceled. So the cash cow that the hospitals traditionally have to support them was shut off.
Mhm.
Now, when you have doctors in there who are bringing in some serious coin, physicians assistants, nurse practitioners, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, that's a huge cash drain. Now, all of a sudden, they don't have that money. The cash flow is not there anymore.
Right.
So, yes, they had a problem.
And then realized that when they were getting $13,000 for a COVID diagnosis, an additional $30,000 for putting them in a hospital,
But that was only
and then a ventilator. It was what?
That was only the stage 1 trauma centers, though, that were getting that.
Correct.
That's the problem.
And the other hospitals
St.
went out of
Joe's
business.
up on 23. A young friend of mine who I've known since he was 8 years old. He's a doctor. He said during COVID, if you came in and I don't care if you got a splinter, if you got diagnosed with COVID, they got automatic $3,400 to the hospital, just for diagnosing COVID. And said everybody's getting diagnosed with COVID. Believe me.
You betcha. I heard this lady in Aldi's, and I know her from The Man in the Moon. I was shopping, and she was on the phone with a friend, and she said, "Oh my God, you're not going to believe this." She goes, "My son went in for something," and she goes, "and they diagnosed him COVID, and he didn't have COVID. He had a broken arm or something."
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, there was a guy that got
$3,000.
There was
Yeah.
a guy that got beheaded in a motorcycle accident. Ends up in the morgue. They test him.
And say he has COVID.
Died of COVID.
Colorado guy got shot 3 times and died in the hospital. Died of COVID.
Died of COVID because they got
Serious? It was on the news. I was like, how the hell stupid can they be there?
Because they got that money.
Paperwork. Yep.
We're gonna go to break here in about 5 minutes. Pat,
I gotta go.
Oh, you're loading it. All right, let me know when you're ready. Are you gonna leave during the break? Or are you feeling good?
I'm feeling good, but they don't mind if I pack up and leave at 10 then. How's that?
That's fine. That's fine, buddy. I don't have a problem with that.
I'll kiss you.
We're gonna let
Me some
Mary,
love.
we're gonna
But
let Mary retire so you can't leave.
This is true.
Yeah, I'm going to be leaving about the same time, but we've got some stories to cover.
That's fine.
So
We'll
why I
say,
cannot
we'll
leave it
we'll
before
kick
the
out
break.
you guys' stuff right away
Yeah,
and get this.
sorry.
But no, this is great.
A good
This is great
conversation.
because
don't be
I
sorry.
want-
Very
yeah,
informative.
we want to
We're
get
not
this
sorry.
out. Anything to catch up in chat before I make a slight request of Patrick?
He said they happened to my uncle. He couldn't get up and get help, and he died very painful and suffered from pancreatic cancer. He begged God to take it.
Well, and what pissed me off, and I witnessed this firsthand with a couple of my friends, Mark Rottweiler, if he's out there.
That was pinky.
Mark couldn't take Grant. You've met Mark and Grant. Couldn't take Grant, his son, to go see his grandfather because of the lockdowns, because they had to be sequestered, and he's literally dying, and they wouldn't let him go see his grandfather. To look through a glass, bunch of bullshit. Patrick, I don't know if you want to share a little bit just to give people this. You had your bout with cancer. Do you want to just give us just a minute or two on that, or just anything on that? You've shared before on the show in the past, and so I wanted to. We have some legitimate. What do you call that? Some legitimacy here when we're talking about cures and fighting with the medical system, as well as you being in the medical system, selling medical equipment. But you also had your own battle with cancer, and you had to tell the doctors, same way Mom, I was walking in there going, "You're going to give me an appointment for 8 months from now? Go fuck yourself." You had to do the same thing. You walked in, they got your papers. You walked in the office, and the doctor never looked at your shit and was going to put you on some.
Well, that was that. I had a couple of those. I went to Cleveland Clinic. Cleveland Clinic boasts that they are #1 nationally in men's health. USA World News Report, big write-up. So I went to Cleveland Clinic. I walk in there and I sit there for an hour, and I finally get in to see this doctor. He's a radiation oncologist. He comes in with a male model and starts talking to me about the prostate and doing seed plants. And I said, "Wait a minute, Doc." I said, "First of all, what you're talking about here is called brachytherapy. Second of all, you're sitting here in front of somebody who's extremely well educated on everything." I said, "There's only one reason I'm giving you an audience, and that is because you guys tout yourselves as being #1 nationally. I want to know from you, because you're an expert on this, what you think would be most optimal for me based on my labs, based on my MRIs, based on the PET scans, based on the biopsies that were done, all of it. I want you to tell me that." He said to me, "Well, I'm sorry, I would be able to do that if I had that information." I said, the University of Michigan Medical Center sent that to you 2 weeks ago. So what you're telling me is that I drove 3.5 hours to get here. I spent the night in a hotel. I drove and I paid to park in your parking structure, waited in your waiting room for an hour to sit here and have a conversation with you when you're totally unprepared for me. And the shit's in your damn computer. Now I'm pissed. And he said, "Well, I still tell you that brachytherapy would be #1 for you." And I said, "Why?" I said, "Can you show me some white papers? Are there any clinical studies that prove that that's best for me? Because you don't know anything about me. You don't know a damn thing about me, even though it's in your computer."
Yeah.
I said, "Let me tell you something, Doc." I said, "I'm not just your average patient, because I'm going to walk out of here and I'm going to walk up to the carpeted areas of this hospital. I'm going to have a conversation with your boss about what I just went through here, because it's pissed me off." Okay. I said, most people, and here's what really, really, really bothers me, because most people come here thinking that you're freaking God. No, they think God went on vacation and pointed you to take his place. You're going to entertain me for a minute here. Okay.
He's laying him out.
Because that's my next stop. I'm going up there to talk to the CEO of this place. I know who he is. I know him personally. And he and I are going to talk about you. in this department.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these people think that you are God, and they're going to walk in here and they're going to sign up for brachytherapy,
And
even though it may
gonna-
not be the best for them.
They're going to listen to you. Yep.
And so they're going to make a decision, a life-altering decision based on that, and you don't know a damn thing about them. Not a thing. That's out of line. That's going to change.
Mm-hmm.
He said, well, I'm sorry you feel that. No, there's no, I'm sorry you feel that way. You fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to report on this.
Yep.
You know?
And for the record, Patrick, for I don't know how many years, you literally sold imaging medical machinery.
37 years.
37 years, took a department at the company you worked for from a extremely low budget to a multi-million-dollar budget selling these machines. So he knew. He was in and out of these hospitals, setting them up, selling them these machines. And so when he says he knew the head guy there, he ain't bluffing.
No.
And the fact that this guy can't take time, which is your job, to read his charts, to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, my doctor, my cancer doctor, he shows me the images.
Yeah.
Once he runs me
You-
through,
and I'll tell you
he shows me the images,
and
so
I'll tell
I
you
know
this.
what's going on.
I'll tell you this. One of the reasons, and again, I'll go back to it. When the Lord said to me, what works for you, and that kind of settled it for me, because the power of belief and your positive attitude is far more effective than any treatment. The treatment itself is what it is. And it could be the greatest treatment, and it could work. You could have Jesus telling you himself that it works.
What's your doctor?
But if you don't believe it, it's not going to work for you.
Well, the first chemo treatment that I went through, I could breathe better.
Got a question for you from somebody asking if your doctor was Dr. Natsky.
Oh, I
Do you know who it is?
I do know Dr. Natsky.
Was
He's
that
wonderful.
your doctor? No. Okay.
No.
But so
Sorry.
when I went with
Didn't mean to
mom
interrupt.
to multiple,
He was in the same office though. Dr. Natsky I had Dr. William Bernard up in Flint. And
So-
so now I'm
Hang on.
with Dr. Reynolds and I really like him.
and I went in there with mom. Mom says, you got to go with me. I was with her through a majority of this, other than her actual being in the treatments, sitting in the room with the
Because you don't
treatments.
want to sit with me for 5 hours.
Right.
I'm going to watch TV and I'll,
But I walked in
need your
and,
help.
and she's using me as a sounding board to go, did I miss something? What did they say? Or can you clarify this? And I'm paying attention to everything that's going on. And again, what works for you works for you. I know people that have been cured of stage 4 cancer in 2 weeks because they did Rick Simpson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or they did Reiki, Royal Rife frequencies, right? You were talking about the ultrasound frequencies, same dynamics. But what works for you is what works for you, and if you believe it. And there are people. We walked into the one hospital or the one facility, the hospital down there in not Ann Arbor, but right next to Ann Arbor, St. Joe's. Now it's Ascension or whatever the hell it is. And the amount of people in that office as we were going through there, that as soon as they got that diagnosis, gave up. I mean, gave up.
Oh,
we
when
talked to
you're
the
diagnosed with stage 4?
as soon as stage 4, stage 1,
Really?
they got the diagnosis of cancer and they
they-
said,
I'm done.
I'm done.
It's true.
My mom got the diagnosis and she said, all right, how do we fix,
What's
there's
the
the
next
tears,
step?
there's the anger, there's all those stages of grief. And then it's like, all right, how do we fucking beat this thing? What do we got to do? And she's like, I've always been healthy. I've always, I grew up with fucking Shackley pills and all sorts of vitamins and everything. Like, take take this one, dude. My mom from the earliest memories is like, you got your B complex, you're taking this. I was a hyperactive kid. She did all of her research to figure out what, she didn't realize that it was the vaccines that had poisoned me, but she knew enough to know that I had an allergic reaction to colors and dyes. She took me off all that and gave me the best normal childhood that I could have. I had a buddy that was allergic to natural flavors and colorings. He'd get a banana every morning and kicked off the school bus because he was so
kindergarten.
because he was such a spaz.
Yeah.
I couldn't handle him, and I was a hyperactive kid. But
and now you never know it.
No,
something's
I call
changed?
all the time.
Yeah.
Never, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always when I walk in, he's always just sitting in a chair. He's not doing nothing, you know.
I got one more story I have to share here before we go on break. It's about Rick Simpson oil. A friend of mine up in Flint, he knows somebody has a lab that makes Rick Simpson gel caps.
Yeah.
And so he gave me some of them. He said, you really need to try these things.
Mhm.
So I tried one.
Did you get high?
One night. Oh my God.
What are they called? What are they called?
Rick Simpson oil.
It's called RSO.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of it? RSO?
No, but I want to get some. As a
So-
Dude,
big
no, you can't say it
You
cures
can
anything.
get it in Michigan
So at any
anywhere.
rate, there's more to the story.
I can't imagine.
I have a meeting I have to go to, and I'm stoned.
Holy shit.
So I jump in a lake and I go for a swim just to try to sober up, right?
Right.
All of a sudden, my heart starts flipping on me.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm like, I better get back to the damn dock. So at any rate,
I'm visualizing this shit.
it gets better. I get through the meeting. Okay. The next morning, I'm sitting on a can. All of a sudden, my heart starts doing tachycardia again.
Right.
Flipping on. I call this guy up and I said,
What the fuck
is it? He's talking to me, but he says, can you do me a favor? Take a picture of the capsules and send them to me.
Yeah.
So I did. I texted to him. And
He goes, oh shit, I gave you the wrong one.
He says, how are you taking those? I said, orally. He said, well, my friend, those are suppositories.
Oh no!
And they're like twice as strong as what
Oh fuck!
orals are.
Oh fuck! You fucking shit me, man. Were they rather large?
No, they were the normal size. But
What's normal size?
I got that.
Put him in the wrong
regular-
end of the system.
Oh my
That's
god!
funny. I did
Supposed to
see,
go in the
I
engine,
did
not the caboose.
tincture. So it comes in a syringe type of thing,
Yeah.
and you're supposed to take like just as small as a grain of rice.
Yeah.
Okay. And I got out of surgery and for my eye, and I took it, and I just must have. It was bigger than the rice because I got high. Like I was stoned. So I'm in my house. Everything's cool. I know what's going on. I'm stoned, right? But I gotta go out.
Uh-oh.
I gotta go to the pharmacist.
Uh-oh.
It's only 6 blocks, 8 blocks away. It's no problem. I gotta go to Rite Aid and get my prescription, right? My eyes all bandaged up. I'm stoned to the bone. And I'm like, I gotta go get that. Oh shit, I gotta go get that. So I waited as long as I could, right? Because the storm's coming in.
Yeah.
What the hell? So I get over to Rite Aid. I'm stoned. I'm like, I know these people can tell I'm stoned. I'm just like, wah, wah, wah,
It's a
wah.
paranoid stone.
You know, wah. I'll be at the end of my night. Get up to the pharmacy counter, and I said, I have a prescription for Connie Gibbs. And they look it up and they go, oh, we're out of that. You're gonna have to go to another place. You talk about tripping. I was like, and the storm's coming in. It's already started to snow, right? So I'm like, holy shit.
Were you on the hoof walking?
No, I
Okay,
was driving, but
Okay.
that's just as bad, right?
Right.
So I'm in Garden City, and I gotta go to whatever on Michigan.
Wasteland?
Yeah, I didn't have to go to Westland. I had to go the other way, Dearborn.
Oh shit.
And I had to
Gotta
go
deal with the
to
ninjas.
the Rite Aid there.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, and it's starting to storm, and I'm like, holy shit, Lord, I gotta get straight here because I gotta find this Rite Aid to begin with.
You need to find somebody with some coke to get
You know, and I got it. I came down enough to get the prescription and get home. But I know what you're talking about. Wah, 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 wah.
That's hilarious. All right, guys,
Crazy, man.
we will come back. We're going to talk about some politics and the Elon Musk Trump debate, stuff like that. When we come back, enjoy the break as we go refill and take a piss.
Maybe not in that order.
And remember, if you sprinkle when you tinkle, be a sweetie, wipe the seat.
Yeah, Larry knows that well, having been
People were
chastised by
laughing
his
about you guys' stories, probably because we're old.
Well, my friend around the corner said, "Why didn't you call us?" And I'm like, "Honey, I was
All I knew was I had to get that prescription.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Rare cancers are exploding in number around the world and behaving in aggressive and unpredictable ways never seen before, according to leading oncologist Dr. William Mackis, who says that some of his young and healthy patients have died days or even hours after diagnosis. Dr. Mackis has diagnosed 20,000 cancer patients in his long and distinguished medical career and says that he and his colleagues have never seen anything like this. After all of his decades as an oncologist, he feels like a kindergartner when looking at these strange tumors. He has to hide the fear in his voice as vaccinated and boosted patients look at him in desperation. All the other oncologists he knows feel the same way. But as Dr. Mackis explains, his colleagues are not in a position to speak out and risk their livelihoods and even their lives. The Great Reset's own King Charles has become the latest shot cancer victim. And while the jury is out on whether this is a real diagnosis or a desperate psyop, questions must be raised about why the royal family would break with tradition to announce his treatment. The British royal family never comment on the health of the family, and in the past would not have dreamed about telling the public about a monarch receiving cancer treatment in its earliest stages. Are the elite setting the stage for the Bill Gates cancer mRNA vaccine rollouts and the tsunami of turbo cancers that insiders have warned are about to wipe out billions of humans? Who better to normalize the tsunami than the Great Reset's own King Charles? But as Dr. Mackis warns, there is nothing normal about what's happening in the medical world right now.
There are only a handful out of the 100,000 doctors, Canadian doctors, that didn't take the vaccine that are still practicing medicine. So it's something like 99.9% vaccination rate. And they were the first ones to line up for their vaccines. Well, as I started looking at the sudden deaths of Canadian doctors, I realized, yes, most of them are dying from cardiac issues, heart injuries, cardiac arrests, dying while jogging or swimming, dying in their sleep. And Dr. Peter McCullough has talked about this extensively, about the myocarditis and the damage to the heart, the scarring to the heart. And then some were dying from blood clots, pulmonary emboli, strokes. But then there was quite a large subset of doctors who were developing extremely aggressive cancers. And cancers at an age that they shouldn't be getting. So for example, there was a doctor who developed gastric cancer in his 30s. Presented at stage 4, he was dead in less than a year. Very rare brain cancers in young individuals in their 20s and 30s, medical students, medical residents. And these cancers would always present at stage 4, and they would always kill them in a matter of a few months, and it was always less than a year. And, at first I didn't know, what the term for this was or what the phenomenon was. I just started, really paying attention to it, tracking it. I then, realized that this is being called turbo cancer by people on social media. Turbo cancer is not a medical term, but it's a term that people came up with to really describe the extremely aggressive nature of these cancers in the COVID vaccinated. And these cancers behave completely differently, unlike anything I've seen before in my career. And I've diagnosed over 20,000 cancer patients in my career with cutting-edge PET CT, positron emission tomography imaging, CT, MRI, pathological correlation. I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen stage 4 breast cancers presenting in women in their 20s. I've never seen stage 4 colon cancers presenting in men and women in their 20s, 30s. Leukemias that will kill you in a matter of days or even hours after diagnosis. Lymphomas that, again, kill you in a matter of months.
It's not just doctors, it's across the board. College students, royals, professional athletes, pop stars, actors, and ordinary people who lined up to take the vaccines and boosters. Do you remember the social media influencers on YouTube and TikTok who shilled the experimental COVID-19 vaccines to their followers during the pandemic? Most of them received big dollar payouts from the government and big pharma companies to sway their followers into supporting the vaccine rollout. Pharma companies were desperate to use stealth marketing to brainwash the masses. Taylor Swift's boyfriend, Travis Kelce, received $20 million from Pfizer to push their deadly product.
Typically, you get a call, it's like $500,000,
Yeah.
$1 million bucks. That's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
What do you think got paid for that?
Okay, now that's like that. What, $5 million?
What do you think? That's a lot. I've not heard of $5 million deals for a Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
What do you think got paid for that?
I mean, listen, for you to go around and be the spokesperson for Pfizer and you're the face of the
what I'm
NFL and you're dating Taylor Swift.
How much?
Yeah.
Whatever number you like, dude, I would
Give it to
Hold this number up, right?
I'd go
just sent
$10
you-
million.
look at that.
20
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Did you guys know this? I did
had
not
no
know this.
idea.
I just Googled it right.
It makes
According
sense.
to a report from Andrew Pitcash, Travis Kelce was offered a strong incentive to take part of the Pfizer promotion. The Kansas City Star is stated to have made a massive $20 million from the advertisement.
Oh, weird.
Oh my God, I had no clue.
To put that figure in perspective, it's far more money than he earns playing football for the Kansas City Chiefs. Something isn't adding up here. Until you understand that YouTube and other social media influencers were instrumental in spreading the mass formation psychosis that resulted in a significant percentage of the global population being hypnotized into following the elite's draconian COVID measures. Fast forward a couple of years and karma is striking down those same YouTubers who took the jab and cashed in on big pharma money. Hundreds of these young and healthy YouTube influencers are now being diagnosed with cancer. And many of them have admitted that they're suffering from the kind of rare and aggressive turbo cancers that Dr. Makis is warning us about. Grace Helbig is the latest popular influencer to be struck down with cancer, just 2 years after promoting the jab to her 2.6 million YouTube followers. Here is a video from 2 years earlier when Grace was in full shill mode, encouraging her millions of followers to get vaxxed and boosted just like she did.
It's the day after we got our second shot, and I will say I'm feeling pretty okay. I'm just tired and my arm is sore, but that's about it. So I hope you guys do shot. Everybody! I would love if everybody got the shots. That'd be great.
Life comes at you fast. Tragically, Grace is far from the only young person to be struck down with aggressive and unpredictable turbo cancer in the wake of the elite's mRNA rollout. Here is a small sample of the other popular YouTube influencers who've recently suffered the same fate. This astonishing list of young and healthy influencers who took big pharma money to shill the vaccine and have since been struck down with cancer is growing every single day. The list doesn't even include the large number of TikTok and Twitter influencers who have been diagnosed with cancer, nor the many influencers on various platforms who've suffered other devastating health problems, including myocarditis, strokes, facial paralysis, and sudden heart attacks. Who will be the first among these influencers to admit that they were lied to and taken advantage of by the big pharma cartel? Unfortunately, these medical cases only represent the tip of the iceberg.
This is my brain.
Yeah, why would we do that? Why would we?
You might even show it on the podcast, and I'm just old and can't remember.
You
But
are
the
old,
people-
but I mean,
you're right, but I look good for 25 bucks. Told you.
I
this.
told you that.
The guy's dropping.
It's-
Hi,
it's-
this is Detroit, and they're just dropping these different
Oh,
news.
oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I'm
absolutely,
live on
absolutely.
news,
But this
local
is
news and
what Tim was playing during the break was phenomenal because talking about the idea of all these influencers that got paid these huge amounts of money.
Yep.
And then you find them, a year later or whatever, and they've got Guillain-Barré's, they've got myocarditis, what's some of the other ones? But he started out the whole break media with that, talking about the turbo cancers, right? Whether you got jabbed or not, I know my mom directly suffered from the turbo cancers because they lit fires up there in Canada on purpose, causing respiratory illness. She got shed on. I got shed on by people, right? And then where the hell did this come from? And you know what? It's all about them. They have this sickness mentally in the medical community that they want to be. It's literally Munchausen by proxy is a look. I didn't pull the definition. It is a band.
It is.
Yeah, because they wanted it to be.
In the movie.
Microphone, Larry.
I probably didn't. Oh no, he's.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I forgot to turn
Thank you.
it back on.
Yeah, Munchausen by proxy.
It's a
But-
band.
But Munchausen by proxy is basically you make your kid sick in order to get sympathy for yourself, and it ends in you. And there was one lady. Not only did she have 3 or 4 of her own kids, but adopted multiple kids. And by the 19th kid, if I'm not incorrect, they finally. They were kind of tracking her, and by the 19th kid dying, they finally got to the point where they're like, there's something else going on here. And this lady was having all these funerals and her kids, it's SIDS, it's sudden infant death syndrome.
Oh,
Do you know
yeah.
sudden infant death syndrome was never really a thing until they started vaccinating
I
our
was
kids.
just gonna say that.
And I will tell you 100% that my hyperactivity attention deficit disorder is a result of the vaccines that I received. And they poisoned the hell out of our whole population and created that attention deficit. And I had to learn to adjust. People look at this and say, Larry will tease me and say that I'm still hyperactive. Absolutely.
2 things. Before SIDS, it was usually later in life that there's the STUFU that caused kids' demise, which was shut the fuck up, kid. And that was usually when they got killed by parents. It's when they got older. That the hyperactive ones.
Yeah, the
that was
hyperactive
before
ones.
the virus. And then I remember I did that report about a month and a half ago. I had that in the can.
Yeah.
And you guys were talking about it. The STUFU disease was before SIDS.
But so that's a dynamic of they're slowly what they want in a very well-developed culture is to then, when it becomes nefarious, is to poison the population so it can be controlled and make money off of it. So we can be pilfered. Larry, we're doing a show. What do you listen to over there, buddy?
Reading a story somebody just sent me.
Okay, very good.
I didn't
Appreciate
want
it.
to interrupt you.
I appreciate you, Larry. All right, let's do this. Grandma Connie, you were ready to go. You're getting tired. Give me a signature and your final thought, and I'll let you go, and then let Mr. Coffee go after that, and then we'll hold Larry for a little bit while he figures out whatever the hell he's got going on over there. What's your final thought, Grandma? You made your triumphal return after 10 months absence. You the last time, and you said to me, and I'll preface this so you can get it. Grandma said to me, she says, my one focus is to be on the podcast and just be a part and share. And then you got hit with this cancer bullshit. Go ahead and sign Larry so you're on camera. Or I guess no, Tim switch back. We'll wait for you. We got those 2. But I'll preface this. You were very focused on being a part of the show and contributing like tonight. It's awesome. I mean, you're my mom, so you have life lessons that have shaped me and helped me be the man that I am. And so when you could no longer speak without coughing, wheezing, being short of breath, having no energy past 7, 8 o'clock at night, if that, it took a while for you to regroup and focus and everything like that. And so when you told me the other day, you were like, I'm feeling good enough. I'm going to come for at least the first half of the show. I was like, hell yeah. Because you guys got to know that my mom has been the most dedicated person in my life to me. Of course, she's my mom, but you got to realize we went through a lot of things, and I've heard people say it, and they said it in a certain way, and I get what they were doing. But when my mom said to me when I was 4 or 5 years old, she said, "It's you and me, kid." She meant it. And this lady's been my greatest cheerleader, my greatest advocate, and one of my greatest mirrors to let me see myself for who I am and be the better man that I can be.
Oh, are you trying to make me cry or what?
I love you, Mom.
I love you too.
So
no crying on the show.
No crying on the show?
No.
There's no crying in baseball.
There's no crying in baseball. We can cry on the show, Larry.
I knew it was something like that.
Good one. Good one.
So I said all that because her scare dealing with cancers was my scare.
Was affecting.
And I will confess
Yeah.
fully
Scared
to
us all. We all love you.
I will
Thank you.
well, I will confess fully to everybody out there listening in the audience is that I have a very difficult time. I've got a couple friends dealing with some medical issues. I have a very difficult time when people are sick around me because not because I don't care, not because I'm not deeply involved with them, not because I don't love them intensely, but because when I am presented with something that I cannot fix, I shrink back a lot of times because I feel powerless, and that powerless infuriates me. It angers me because I, from a little kid, am going to fix this shit.
Mhm.
And
would you say it scares you like it? Like
And it creeps me the fuck out.
Like
it does. It creeps me the fuck out. No, that's exactly right. Because if I can't fix it, you know, it even bothers me when I have to buy, and it's easy now. You can buy replacement parts online. And I'll tell you what, it still, to this day, I have to work through a whole mechanism within my own mind and heart to buy replacement parts for something because it pisses me off that I can't just fix the actual part sitting in front of me. Solder it, make it better, do this. I go, fuck, I just got to buy a replacement part because you built something that was meant to break down. Final thought, Mom. I'll shut the fuck up.
Okay. Well, I really was committed to the podcast, but I'll tell you, I didn't listen to you guys because I didn't feel good. So don't take it personally that I wasn't listening to the podcast and your antics. Besides, I get a little snippet of what you got to get back on there and get them guys straight and all this stuff. And it was pretty funny, you know, but I appreciate it because I think that we just need a voice that is not angry, not, you know, wanting their own agenda. I don't want nothing from you guys. You know, let's just have a conversation. And when you can't have a conversation, that's when the problems begin. And you know, let's be able to talk about it with each other without that anger. And the problem is that we immediately, that anger comes from defense. We're defending ourselves when we don't have to. And I'll give you an example. How I'm saying this is my little grandson, Tay, he wore a long sleeve shirt on a 90-degree day. Okay. Now you all are thinking the same thing. And his dad said, Tay, why are you wearing a long sleeve shirt? And he immediately, I watched it, on the defensive and goes, why can't I wear a long sleeve shirt? And I said, stop right there. I said, he asked you a question and you answered with a question, but I want you to answer him with your answer, not a question. I said, so why are you wearing that long sleeve shirt today, Tay? And he goes, because I really like it. And I said, the difference in that answer, in that moment, is night and day.
Yep.
And that's what the problem is with us as to have a conversation. The Democrats don't want to have a conversation. They want to blame the Republicans. The Republicans want to blame the Democrats. The Jews want to blame this one, and this one wants to blame. I mean, let's just get down to the nitty gritty. But one of the things that I learned was, what does it say? Opinion without
opinion without
inquiry
yes,
is prejudiced. You prejudge.
Yep.
So if you have an opinion but you haven't scoped out the whole information,
Left side, right side, back, forth.
you prejudge that and you might be really incorrect. And that's our problem in the United States. You know, I don't like Kamala Harris. Okay, I'm saying that right out front. I don't like her. You know what? When she said that she wanted population control or she said depopulation or something. I can't remember exact words, but basically
it's hard to distinguish what she says between laughs.
We want to stop we want to get the population lower, is basically what she said. And I'm like, who heard that? Because I heard it. How many other people heard that? You know? And that's the problem. They don't hear that. They hear all the other garbage. And there's no conversation. You know, I want to have a conversation and say, wait a minute, you said this. What the heck?
In his essay, Ethics of Belief, British mathematician and philosopher W.K. Clifford argues that the answer is no. He claims that the answer is no. He claims that it is wrong always, everywhere, and for everyone to believe anything upon insufficient evidence.
Yes. And that's what
Don't search it out, you don't study it, and then you just throw up opposition to somebody.
And then somebody says something to you, and you go on the defensive, and you don't have that back and forth talking and getting it out and squaring each other away.
That dialogue.
You know, let me have my say, let you have your say, and then I'll go home and think on it. It's like when you talk to the Lord. You know, it's like I talk to the Lord and I'm like, Lord, I don't understand what's going on, but you know, this is this and this is this and everything. I gotta stop talking and listen to what he has to say to me in the end.
Well, literally, the scripture is, "Come, let us reason together."
Exactly.
That is a process. That's not a. Here's the order. Do what I said.
And that's
reasoning
why,
together means we're going to talk this out.
Yeah.
You're God, and I'm just the creation. But the reality is, you want to know what I'm thinking, even though you already know what I'm thinking. But you want me to voice it so that we can reason this. We can talk it out.
I need answers, and that's the thing, you know. I mean, with this cancer stuff, you know, God help anyone who's going through it, anyone who's going through the treatment. I pray that God will help them, because it's not fun. And don't assume that you know what a person's going through when they're dealing with it. Don't look at them and go, oh, well, you should have tried this, or you should have tried that, or why didn't you go to Mexico, or why don't you do this, or shut the fuck up. Let them talk, and actually.
Let me tell you about going to Mexico. I want to chime in on going to Mexico. My dad, somebody told my dad, why don't you go to Mexico? He went to Mexico. They almost killed him. Cost me $30,000 to get him back across the border.
Yep.
That's what going to Mexico will
and
do.
That's why you need a dialogue. You need to talk to somebody who's been through it.
Let me rephrase it. It cost him $30,000.
Right.
Well, I had to go into his bank account, get $30,000 out of his savings, and bring him back. And then I had to get the embassy involved.
Right. And there's again, what works for you works for you. What works for you works for you. And the reality is, if you don't do the investigation, there's 1,000 treatments out there that'll cure stage 4 cancers in a week, 2 weeks. Do you believe it? Have you researched it? Because if you run down there and do a thing and it doesn't work for you, you're going to come back even more jaded than you were before.
Well, bottom line is I couldn't breathe. So you know what? Shut the fuck up. I'm going to get help.
Right.
And that was exactly, I mean, that's how serious it was. I don't care what anybody says. I can't breathe.
Right. And that's the dynamic that people need to take away from this is, look, if you're fully convinced and know this, awesome. And I will support, I study it constantly, all the different dynamics of the medical. And I encourage everybody out there to do that. Okay. But the bottom line is, when you're in that crisis.
Yeah, I tried it. It started in August, September, October, I saw the doctor. September, I saw the doctor. October, I saw the doctor because I couldn't sleep. You ever had bronchitis, pneumonia, you coughing, you lay down, you're coughing, can't go anywhere. You know, it's
you can't sleep.
I can't sleep. I tried everything. I tried the ivermectin. I tried the
hydroxychloroquine.
Yep, all of it. I was on all of it. I was on my vitamins and everything. It still didn't work. You know what? At a certain point, it's like, let me do this. But then, you know, honor me enough or respect me enough to say, okay, you did what you had to do because you were in it and you were dealing with it and you had to deal with it the way you did.
People don't understand the dynamic of the woman with the issue of blood who gets to a certain point and throws her hands up and says, this is my last resort.
Yeah.
And a lot of people got to get to that point. and you may get to the point, and it may be a completely holistic
Mhm.
road that you take. It may be a conventional road that you take. If you believe in it,
Mhm.
you will come out victorious on the other side.
So my final thought is, my prayers are for the people because there's a lot of people in that cancer center.
Mhm.
And my prayer is that everybody around them would edify them, lift them up, pray for them, encourage them. My girlfriends, I said, I don't want woe is me. I'm not going to complain to you. I want you to say you're going to be good. You're going to be all right. You're going to be, you know what I mean? You're going to do good.
Absolutely.
And we're going to be right here. And what can we do for you? Don't come in and say, I'm going to fix you. You should take this. You should do this. Why didn't you do this?
Because you're not in that place.
You're not in that place. And
What
I
people
only
need to hear is
say,
support and encouragement.
Yeah, I only say that because I saw all of it.
Mhm.
I saw where, you should take this and you should take that. And I'm like, stop. How the hell do you know what I should take?
Right.
How do you know what I have taken? You don't have my history of what I've actually tried.
Well, like you said, you took hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin. You did.
Ivermectin I took twice. The hydroxychloroquine I took twice. I took, it got to the point where I was shoving vitamin C down me. I was doing zinc. I mean, I was trying everything.
Are we on the air?
Yeah.
Yeah, why?
Because people are texting me and asking me why we're not on the air.
Uh-oh.
What happened to the podcast?
Uh-oh.
Oh, we're still recording.
Well, that's a good thing.
It hasn't ended over there.
So, my final thought is
I'm gonna refresh.
be
Tell them to refresh.
be an edifier. Be somebody who lifts your
Encourage.
person up, an encourager. Be somebody who's supportive. My girlfriend flew from Arizona for my last chemo session, stayed with me a week, and I'll tell you right now, that was God personified, because I was very, very sick, and both of my boys were sick with the flu. I mean, bed sick with the flu when she flew in. She didn't get the flu. I didn't get the flu. She fed all four of us, because she was there. And that in itself was tremendously uplifting to get that kind of help. It was beautiful. In fact, Vince and Tay and I both, and me, we all three of us were just so grateful that she was there, because we said we wouldn't have ate.
Mhm.
Nobody could get out of bed. That little Tay couldn't hardly move. His dad he never misses work. He missed
Froze
like
up.
3 days. So yeah.
You're froze.
Okay. So we'll do this coffee finish up, and then we'll do a regroup. I'm going to guarantee you that the same DDoS attack that happened
Just
with
hit?
X last night, also hit Rumble. Rumble's been attacked multiple times now. Yeah. Well, no, I'm refreshing my end right
Yeah,
here.
it's on their server, and we're pushing it to the servers. It's
Okay.
just not going out necessarily if
Yeah.
they're not seeing it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's showing that our show ended at 1 minute or hour 50 seconds, hour 50 minutes and 37 seconds on here.
That was 20 minutes ago.
See, I could have
Yeah.
snuck out 20 minutes ago.
No kidding. Me too.
Yeah. Well, we're recording, so we can upload this whole VOD when we get done. Yeah, the chat's still working because you just said hello in the chat.
Yeah.
So it's on their end. It'll catch up. Here it is. Mr. Coffee, your final thought.
Yeah, final thought. I'm real quick. I just loved coming in for one when I heard when I always ask you at about 2 in the afternoon, what's going on tonight? And it takes a little while for you to get to me and stuff. When I heard Gmail was going to be here, I was like, positivity for once after a while. Because it's been so dismal for fucking like 2 months. I've seen people just on our side fighting with each other and negativity and it's like and then I get around you guys and there's some laughs and giggles and good information and good positive vibes.
Yeah,
maybe that make you feel good. So you never know, Queen. When I get home, might be some yum coming down the road, baby. What do you think?
I don't even know what you just said on the
Do
air.
not even answer that.
But anyhow, no, that's my final thought, and it's good. And I was kind of bummed that Timmy wasn't talking in my ear with his funny shit that I get because he's not feeling good. So
Yeah.
looking forward to next time.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much. We'll regroup here real quick with you guys heading out. Yeah, drop those on the table if you can. Well, I'm just saying to drop your packs and stuff like that when you're head up. So Larry, you had a couple things.
Yes, I did.
So they're saying that the podcast is offline right now?
That's what they're saying.
Yeah, because we're still broadcasting. That's fine. Let them know. We will post, because Tim always hits a record button. We will post the full recorded. No, we'll post it. Everything's recorded on the hard drives, so we'll post the whole show. Say again. Oh, that's fine. We still got plenty of time. We still got 2 hours and 7 minutes recorded. Well, that's good. Grandma Connie's first sentence, so we're good to go. All right, so we'll just keep going with that. We'll dive into what Larry's going to do. Larry,
Thanks, guys.
great to have you, Mom.
See you later.
You take care of yourself.
I am. I'm doing the best I can. Got them boys taking care of me too.
Do I need to say something smart before you leave?
Yeah. No, you don't
Wait,
need to. I can just
wait,
stay
wait,
here
wait.
anyways, Blair.
Did Larry just
Take
say that
that.
he's going to try to say something smart before you leave, or he's going to say something smart? Just saying. I'm just saying. Did you drop your chair? I know. Just I want you to go down. Going down. Going down. Get out. I love you. Thank you, Mom.
Maybe next week.
I'm following you out. Let's
We'll
go.
see.
Come on.
All right.
Bye.
The 25-year-olds are leaving because they can't hang.
Okay, so what I want to start out is, if you go to about 917 in my post, at 97, there's a picture of a West Nicagary sign. You'll see
Where?
Just go to your messenger. I sent everything that we're going to talk about.
The last thing I got is your 917.
Yeah,
You're
go
saying
to
when you sent it to me.
917.
All right, here we go.
Yes. So
West Naked Girly.
Yes. So the Democrats, the racist Democrats have been vandalizing and stealing West Nicagary signs along M59.
Yeah, Naked Girly.
Yes. So yes, Mr. Naked Girly.
Naked Girly.
Yes.
Whatever it takes to remember that name.
Yes.
Is what we need.
So this is what the Democrats are doing here in Livingston County.
Stealing
That's what
signs.
they do.
Yeah.
So I guess they think that it's funny that they trash other people's private property, but this is what Democrats. I don't know any Republicans that do these things.
No, they get accused of doing it, and then
it doesn't
ultimately
mean that
finds
there
out that
isn't a Republican somewhere that
correct.
didn't steal a
They get
sign.
accused of it.
That's not what I'm saying.
But at a certain point, you come to
Democrats
find out that
do
the
it
Democrats
on a
actually are
regular
doing it.
basis.
Yeah.
When I was Mike Detmer's campaign manager, Democrats were stealing Mike Detmer 3 dozen a week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what they were doing. When I was putting signs up during the last school board election cycle, it was actually a millage election cycle. They stole 65% of the signs I put out.
Wow.
65%. So, this is what the Democrats do in Livingston County. But another thing I want to touch on is I want to send a congratulations out to some of our watchers, some of our fans, Bo and his Bo Bushart and his brand new fiance Ashley are engaged to be married.
Okay.
And
Shout out to you guys.
They enjoy this show and watch it every episode. You know, if we have 3 episodes a week, they watch them all.
Oh yeah.
Congratulations.
We love people like
So
that.
congratulations to Bo and Ashley.
Yeah.
Now, next you're going to see the very last story that I sent you. It'll start out WXYZ.
You want the victim story?
Yes. So, folks, this is a video. This is friends of
How long is this
of
one?
ours, family friends. The video, 2 minutes maybe.
Okay.
If it's that long. This is Haley.
Tim, are you still in control? Or
Haley
are you,
and Luke. Haley and Luke
Okay.
got married on October 13th. I was there at the wedding. You'll see them there holding their brand new baby twins.
We're going to play this.
Tonight with that wild scene in
Here
a
we go.
Westland neighborhood that people are still talking about. Police say a woman intentionally plowed into cars, injuring a man. Thank you so much for joining us for 7 News Detroit at 6. I'm Carolyn Clifford.
And I'm Mike Duffy. We're learning that woman.
Did you guys get that? We're going to go back. That Twitch and YouTube are still up. It is literally on the Rumble feed that the problem is happening. So we'll continue
What
with this
about
story.
Facebook? Is it still good?
Tim didn't check Facebook, but
Okay.
I'm assuming that's good. Why did I lose my video?
I don't know.
What the hell? All right, so I tried to play. Let me refresh it and play the video again.
Yeah.
So give us the synopsis while I'm refreshing. Okay, there we go.
There we go. Well,
All right, we'll play it from the top.
Yeah, we'll let them.
We begin tonight with that wild scene in a Westland neighborhood that people are still talking about. Police say a woman intentionally plowed into cars, injuring a man. Thank you so much for joining us for 7 News Detroit at 6. I'm Carolyn Clifford.
And I'm Mike Duffy. We're learning that woman could face a judge as soon as tomorrow. Police believe that the suspect had been drinking and doing drugs when it all unfolded in a usually quiet neighborhood. Now, in one of those crashes, she went after a man and his wife who were in their garage.
Tonight, the wife of that man who was severely injured is opening up to 7 News Detroit reporter Kimberly Craig about the stranger who made them a target.
This is not the story Haley Vinsko ever wanted to tell, but she said it's important that people hear from her just how a complete stranger tried to kill her and her husband. That stranger first ramming into a neighbor's car across the street and then peeling forward, heading straight for Haley and Luke as they stood in their driveway, pinning Luke under a car.
She admitted to wanting to murder us and send us to God.
The woman who was on a rampage with her SUV slammed into the Vinsko's vehicles twice, pinning Haley's husband Luke under one of the cars.
She hit them again and were screaming, like, what are you doing?
And when I tried to reach into her car to turn her car off, she laughed in my face.
People living in the area of Wildwood and Florence were in shock. Ahmad Allen grabbing this cell phone video of some of the rampage. Police say the woman was intentionally crashing into cars and then aiming for Luke and Haley. They had just returned home from their first date night since giving birth to twin boys.
It was horrific. Just a man being in his garage, and they didn't know the lady. I believe that she used to live there and she was looking for somebody that she used to date.
Sadly, Luke's injury so severe, doctors had to amputate a large part of his right leg.
It's going to change everything. My husband doesn't have his right leg. His left foot is broken. He's going to have to learn to walk again.
Haley and her family wonder if this could have been prevented because they later learned that police had been notified of the woman causing an earlier disturbance in the area. Police say their officer had to respond to something more urgent, but they're looking into how it was all handled.
It's infuriating that they could have prevented all of this from happening.
The woman expected to be in court tomorrow.
I think she knows exactly what she was doing. I think she found humor and enjoyment in it.
As Luke remains in ICU, a close family friend has started to raise money online to help with expenses, as it'll be a long road ahead for him and his young family.
Him and I have always been a team, and we always will be, and we know as long as we have each other, we'll figure it out.
In Westland, Kimberly Craig, 7 News Detroit.
Larry, so you were literally at this. Sorry, Tim, I switched before you switched.
Yes, I was at their wedding last October 13th. We actually had a double wedding that weekend. October 13th was their wedding.
Mhm.
And then our other friends got married on October 14th. And if you remember, I took that. I wasn't able to make
You
it.
bailed
Yeah.
on the show.
Yeah.
You bailed on the show. Get over there.
Yep.
You know,
So-
switch just switch chairs and push that chair out of the way.
So that's okay. So
It's all good. It's all good.
So right above
So-
that,
so give it- yeah.
I sent you the GoFundMe, and yeah, if you want to get back,
And we're not funding you, Larry. We're gonna fund them.
Yeah. This is aid for the Vinsko family.
Right there. Okay, I got it.
After
I'm gonna put that on the
now,
screen.
everybody, to make this easy, if you're on Facebook, just go to my Facebook page, Larry Parsons. This is posted.
This is different than
This is
when we tell
different.
Larry to go fuck off in the
Yeah.
This is my brain hosts at Outlook.com.
Outlook.com.
That's totally
Yes.
different. That's separate from this. This is just for them. We're going to go to that. Let's see. This is a fundraiser for them.
Yes, and if you look, they had a $50,000 goal.
Mhm.
They've already raised 40,540.
Yeah.
And let's look at that lady. Somebody donated. Denise Morin donated $1,000.
Awesome. And you know what?
Incredible.
If you have the means to do 1,000 and the Lord leads you that way, awesome. If you have the means to donate like Tammy did, $20, do something to help this family, because you know what? It could be.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
$50,000 isn't crap.
No, but we're hoping
I mean, it's
medical,
better than
that they have
nothing.
medical insurance, and they have
Right.
also have homeowners insurance. But
Right.
the 50,000 covers a lot of things that those shortfalls,
Right.
that those
It'll
insurances
help
don't
a little
cover.
bit. I mean, he's got to learn to walk again.
Yeah.
You know, they got to amputate his leg. You know, the kind of work he does. It's going to take a while. This isn't something that he's going to snap back in a week.
Yeah.
You know, and this guy has a family to take care of.
Yeah.
So I ask everybody to ignore the goal and keep donating.
Well, yeah.
Blow
absolutely.
the goal out of the water.
Yeah.
You know, these are incredible people. Nowadays, it's hard to find people like they are.
Mhm.
The hell is the matter with the woman who's there?
I don't know.
Crashing and everything.
I don't know.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I imagine that we're going to find something out about it. Somebody speculated it was over a ex-boyfriend that lived in the house that they bought after.
And
they
we
got married.
currently live in a society where those types of behaviors are
glorified.
They're, I mean, we live through the summer of love.
Connie Harris would probably do a fundraiser to
give her
that
bail
lady.
money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, she was slighted by that man, so
So
yeah.
that's-
So there's some bullshit to deal with. Praying for Luke and
Haley.
Praying for Luke and Haley, that they would just Lord protect them from here on out and bring an awesome testimony out of this. So there we go. What else you got for us, Larry? Because you wanted to jet out of here.
I don't know if there's an article there if you want to read on West Nicagary, if you feel.
Yeah, you have me
like
going back
wanna
up.
Entertain that, yeah.
Girly?
Naked Girly.
Yeah.
We love it. Right here is this the incumbent wins.
Yes.
All right. West Naked Girly. Nakagiri. We love Wes. He was on the show, 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
One Democrat, one Republican will advance to the November general election in the race for the Livingston County 4th District seat. Democrat Ella. Had no opposition.
Max.
And
Ella
ran unopposed. Incumbent Wes Nakagiri. We love Wes.
Ella is a fella.
What do you want to point out in this article, Larry?
I would like to point out that just read Nakagiri, where it says Nakagiri said,
I'm grateful that nearly 70% of Republicans reelected me to be their nominee as the 4th District Commissioner, especially in these days of high inflation, high crime. Voters appreciate my focus on keeping our property tax rate low, the lowest in Michigan, and our A+ public safety rating, and our healthy community rating that places us in the top 5 in the nation.
Now we're next.
Regarding the general election, my opponent, while identifying as a cat, is a biological male who is the first openly trans woman to run for office in Livingston County. While the Democrat nominee has a distinctive identity, it's clear my opponent is a run-of-the-mill tax and spend Democrat. Yes, my opponent has already advocated for tax hikes, ignoring the fact that citizens are struggling while the devastating effects of the Democrat-caused inflation. As the first commissioner in Michigan to take the taxpayer protection pledge, which he has talked about here on this show, I will continue to provide effective and efficient government without raising your taxes. Nikitin said, The results of the primary election show how dissatisfied people are with the antics of the current board of commissioners. No, what it shows is you were the only one running against Wes, and they just defaulted to voting for a Democrat.
Right.
They did.
Most of them probably had no idea that it was a dude wearing cat ears.
Correct. In all 3 seats with contested primaries, a majority of the voters did not vote for the incumbent if you add up the Republican votes. No, that's not true. The Republicans, the vast majority of Republicans voted for the incumbents, and the vast majority of Democrats just voted for a Democrat, no matter what the name was.
Right. Right. And the only other story is I woke up this morning and had a gift on my front lawn.
Was it a big turd?
Yes.
It's a big turd?
Blue turd.
Big blue turd.
Big,
You want to share the
giant
turd?
blue turd.
So your house was invaded overnight.
Yes.
And what was it? Oh, it was said Democrats.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Yeah.
Ella drove down the street and dropped his sign off in my yard.
Yeah.
So
now
thank you for the turd. But Ella, I'm gonna break your heart here. I'm not gonna support you. I'm gonna support Wes Snake-Gary for a whole lot of reasons. He's got the right ideology. He understands where he lives. He knows the people around him, and he wants to keep Livingston County great. He's also not a nut job. So I will. But interesting, he put his little cat ears on his sign.
Can you?
Yeah.
I don't want you leaving that here.
No, don't leave it in the show.
Don't fucking leave it here at my show.
All right. Well, good night, everybody, and
Dude, it's still
enjoy
in
the
shot.
show.
Fucking throw it over the rail.
Throw it over the rail. Just throw it on the ground.
Put it on my fucking camera.
Just don't hit my pool table.
Are you down there, Grandma Connie?
No, Grandma Connie left. Jesus, did you knock stuff off the shelf?
Hit the pool table.
Did you hit my pool table,
I
Larry?
don't think so.
Overhead shot. Let him sign
You hit
papers
the
before he
shot.
destroys everything in the shop.
You said this, bro.
Oh my goodness.
So earlier
you,
I
Larry.
sent Larry a list of words. He never saw it though, apparently.
What was it, Tim?
List of other words not allowed to be said by Larry Parsons on the show. Umbrella, anything about Nelson Mandela, talking about another fella who may be on a telephone, freaky hacking your smell, or something he can smell, Campanella. Any other thing about let's see, he'd sell or salmonella.
These are all the words you can't say.
You can't say all those things. Yeah,
I'm not going to say
you can't
Ella.
celebrate or talk about your relatives or your anything about your skin melanin in your skin. So you might have to
refrain from
some
hearing out.
vanilla, Jabrella. But don't misspell any of the words I gave.
Don't misspell it.
And no matter what you do not reach in the box of crayons and pull out a yellow.
Yellow. Yep, I didn't have that one.
Yeah, or chartreuse.
Thank you, Larry.
All right.
Continue to get healthy, my friend. You
Good
pulled
night,
through tonight.
everybody.
We'll see you next time. Yeah, I tapped the pack as I was going to shut it off, and of course, it decided to be funky. Drop your chair, please. I'm gonna pull Patrick and me center ice for the rest of the hockey show. And we have to monitor chat ourselves. Appreciate everybody out there in the chat land. When I lose coffee, I lose like that doing all that stuff. What's crazy is the chat's still working. If you guys are able to hear it at all, yeah, we got one viewer on the Rumble, but we're still going on the other ones. We're still recorded, so we're good. We'll upload it tomorrow, something like that. We'll figure it out. Patrick, I had a number of things on here. Did you see Walt's? There's a whole bunch of stuff.
I wanted to see that Trump, Elon.
Oh, they tore it up.
Yeah, it was audio. I actually have it back here.
Yeah,
like no one's themselves in
I actually have it back here playing.
So and this is really
they went
aimed at
40 minutes before they started it, and then
independent
a full
voters.
2-hour conversation.
Yeah,
and it was a conversation.
So
the beats on that were really neat. Been covered by a number of different people. There's about 6 or 7 things that they talked about that are all over. If you go looking for them, just reviews of the conversation. So
yeah, so go check that out on X. It was a phenomenal interview. It was a little bit more canned than I was hoping for. But then again, here's two multi-billionaires having a conversation. It's going to be a little bit canned. And Elon did allude to it right off the bat that they had a conversation the day before.
Right.
And talked about a lot of stuff. So this was already, and I've had the opportunity where you talk with somebody off air.
Yeah, I'll show you.
Then you try to
and then you try to talk about it, and it doesn't feel fake, but it feels like you're just hitting the beats.
When you go to X, there's the you can find other people have recorded it and maybe replays.
Yeah.
But over here on the right side, I have opened the actual X has their oh shit, what do they call this? It's the room they were in. Spaces. Yeah, there it is. Trump space.
Yeah.
It's an open VOD that you can literally play the VOD. It's not a VOD, I guess it would be the podcast.
Yeah.
The recording is there. You can go ahead and play it on the side of X.
Yeah.
And it's the original,
they're just
good
trying to make up their
recording
mind.
of it
Yeah, I had it on mine, and
in the space. And I'm sitting right in there.
Yeah, I woke up this morning because I knew we had an interview last night, so I didn't our conversation last night. So I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it last night, but
well, it's listen. They didn't have any video.
Listen. Yeah. So I kicked it on this morning as I was waking up.
Yeah, I enjoyed it all. I mean, Trump got a little evangelical, and
actually, if you go to my screen, Tim, it was actually Donald Trump.
Yep.
That hosted the space, not
Elon.
Yeah,
it was Trump's host.
So when they're trying to say that that Trump was received donations in kind for being able to do that on the spaces, why does that do that every time? That's a glitch in the system.
Flies up on you.
Yeah, well, yeah. You left, Larry. But for Donald Trump to hold the spaces, to me, does not constitute it in any way being a donation in kind because he's the one hosting it. If Elon was hosting it, maybe there's some wiggle room. But either way, the amount of things that these fucking Democrats do to skirt the law or outright subvert it.
Sure.
And then to try to say, well, you had a conversation with a guy running for office, therefore it constitutes a campaign contribution, It's like, really?
To have someone on your show as a campaign contribution?
Your candidate right now received 0 votes 4 years ago and 0 votes right now. You have no standing whatsoever. Every donation that was given to Biden was supposed to be duly returned to those who donated it and then redonated to the next person. Instead, you just flipped it over to Kamala. That is illegal.
Yeah.
That is $80 million of money laundering. What the hell?
But they're the Democrats, so they can get away.
So they can get away with it. It's Tammany Hall. It's Tammany Hall on steroids, 100%. So this is huge. What they're trying to do. I wanted to touch on this one real quick.
Yeah, this one. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do this one real quick.
I like that one.
Let's see this
You're
one.
You're a loser, buddy. You're a loser.
I'm gonna replay it.
Hey, Trump, you know Dominicans actually hate your guts, right? Because you're a scumbag. You know that, right? You're running the door. You're a loser, buddy. You're a loser. Hey, Trump, you know Dominicans actually hate your guts, right?
So this is actually Chuck Schumer showing up at the. Let me scroll up and see where it's at. At the Dominican Day Pride in New York City. Hey, Chuck. You know, Dominicans actually hate your guts because you're a scumbag. You know that, right? Yeah. You ruined New York. You're a loser. You're a loser, buddy. And he comes over there. I don't know what does he look like the Penguin?
Yeah, he looks like he thinks that these guys are going to be happy with him. He's smiling.
Oh, you want to take a selfie?
Yeah, he looks like the Penguin right there. So that's one thing I want to touch base on. Old Chucky Schumer there. He gets called out to be a piece of shit.
That he is.
That he is. Here's some other news. This is in an absolute travesty of justice. The jury in a rigged trial against Tina Peters has found her guilty on most major charges brought against her for simply preserving the records of the Dominion voting machines after the election. The judge refused to hear nearly all of her testimony. This whole thing, you can find this on X. If I click on it, it'll take me to the top. Watch this. Watch. Yep, and it took me to the top. And when I go back to click on it again, then it finally opens. Okay. The judge refuses nearly all her witnesses and excluded virtually all of her defense, law professor David Clements said. 1, guilty, attempt to influence public servant. 2, guilty, attempt to influence public servant. 3, not guilty, conspiracy to commit criminal impersonation as relates to count 4. 4, guilty to influence public servant. See, these are all ambiguous bullshit. And here's a lady that probably is a good, honorable person that just wanted to make sure that things were recorded, which is her job. But because it involved Mesa County Clerk down there in Arizona, they want to string her up because she preserved evidence that they don't want anybody to see.
Right.
Yeah. So that's Tina Peters' conviction is bullshit.
Well, it's another one that'll get tossed out when we change the guard in Washington, I would hope.
I would hope so.
I used to live in Mesa.
Mesa, Arizona?
Yeah, when I worked in Tempe and attended Central Christian Church.
Nice.
Mesa. It's Mormon country, actually. It's actually more Mormons per capita in Mesa than there is in Utah right now.
Tempe's a big college town.
Tempe, yep. Tempe is Arizona Sun Devils, yep.
And my computer froze up over here. Wonderful.
Of course it did.
Of course it did.
I think it's trying to tell you to end the show.
Yeah. Yep, everything's froze up. Anyways, the next one I was going to cover, Tim Waltz. If everybody didn't know, VP Tim Waltz, the stolen valor guy, actually sent out tyrannical agents in Minnesota neighborhoods to shoot citizens with paintball guns during COVID. And I wanted to play the video. I wanted to play the video for you. Maybe, Tim, you can pull it up on your computer. But the reality is they literally were shooting people with paintball guns, screaming at them to go back in their house during the lockdown while the city was burning down from looters and rioters.
No, we'll do a big walls show. We got balls to the walls. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, balls to the walls. So yeah, this computer froze up completely on me. Even though we're still live over here, I don't know. Maybe this thing will catch up one day. I think that was the last thing. Paintball Waltz. Kamala is on the cover of Time magazine, and it's her time to shine. She is one of the most useless. Let me couch it correctly. For us, as people who actually want to live in, for people, chameleon, for people that actually want to live in the land of the free, the home of the brave, exercise our constitutional enumerated. The Constitution doesn't give us rights. The Constitution enumerates the rights given by God and restricts the government. For those of us that want to maximize that and live in a free country, Kamala is useless to us. She's actually an impediment to that.
The Post says, she flip-flop Harris. Her true self. She's trying to hide her true self from voters.
Mm-hmm. Of course she is, because she doesn't. Her only record is incarcerating black people beyond their actual terms because she was farming them out as slave labor. She's not black. She's Indian and Jamaican. All of these dynamics. But now, and Trump said it right when he went to the Black National Committee, public. No, he went to the Black publication. No, they went to reporters. Yeah. What was, I can't think of, correspondence, the Black Correspondence meeting. Journalism, Black Correspondence Journalism. Kamala was invited too. He showed up. Most hostile environment you could show up to with. He called that chick out. And then began to say, I don't know what to do with Kamala. She's black to get elected with Joe 3.5 years ago. Now she's Indian when she gets elected with Joe 3.5 years ago. Now she's black to get the black vote. I don't know what to do. Is she black or is she Indian? What is she? And then you look at her actual record as the DA in San Francisco, and she incarcerated more black people and held them longer than their sentences. The black community should be outraged that this is the woman that they want you to. And I have some black friends that have posted on Facebook, and I try not to pay attention to because I don't want to be.
It should be interesting because the president of the Black Caucus in Chicago called out the Democrats and said, "You think you're going to have a peaceful, convention here? You got another thing coming." This was a few months back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're pissed about what's happening. And a lot of people that, even folks I know that are left leaning, will not go to Chicago because it's just dangerous right now. It's out of control.
100%. There are mass shootings every week, usually on the weekends. They have taken away their community centers, their recreational centers, sometimes their schools, and housed illegals. So not only is there gang violence in the black communities in the inner city of Chicago, but there's also deep unrest as they funnel in all of these illegals because they realize they've lost the heart and soul of the black community who have been conditioned to vote for Democrats. They're waking up, rightfully so. And now they're shipping in all these illegals to then be the placeholders.
Black jobs.
Well, taking black jobs, yep.
Well,
And Trump got criticized. What is a black job?
They're
Jobs that black people traditionally will like to do. It wasn't a slight. It was an acknowledgement that there are a lot of jobs that black people like to do.
Who's that comedian that does Trump so well? That's on Kill Tony.
I can't think of his regular name, but he's hilarious.
Taking black jobs. They're being loud in theaters. They're they're doing things that black people usually do. This was one of his jokes.
Yes, it was hilarious.
Taking up space.
I mean, because the reality is, if you do not vote for Biden, now Kamala, you're not black.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, wow. If she were to only say that.
So,
if you don't vote for Kamala, you're not.
They're trying to keep
woman.
her. They're trying to keep her under wraps, like they kept Biden under wraps, because they're afraid that she's going to come apart at the seams and say the wrong damn thing.
Yeah.
Or say nothing.
Well,
salad.
It's going around right now that this chick cannot string together a coherent sentence without a teleprompter.
Yeah. Did you hear the professor that pulled apart the sentence you quoted earlier about moving forward and being?
We must be unburdened by what
the-
has been, because what has been is burdening to us.
No. Did you hear the philosopher?
No, I didn't.
that
I didn't.
unpacked
Play
that?
it for me.
No, well, that philosopher that unpacked that sentence, I'll find it and we'll put it in the break. That is a communist. It is a communist reset device. It's what Mao used to reset in the 60s, in 66, where he literally.
What was that called? The Great Reset.
Yeah. Well, there's a
From Mao?
TV series that actually documented it. It was a science fiction series I was watching last month. I'll mention it later, but it was very, very interesting to see. They wiped out professors, everything that was been. We're going to unburden ourselves from the ways of thinking of what was been to move forward into what will be.
So what it means is
reset.
So
it's the Great Reset.
Well, in that dynamic of historical context, we're going to forget the historical successes and problems of our past and not learn from them.
Redefine the new man,
and we're just going to move forward.
The new man is a communist thing. It's a new man.
We're just going to move forward with whatever is presented to us and not actually pay attention to the lies and inconsistencies within it.
Yeah. So
And
what she was saying was coming from something. It wasn't
Mao,
word salad. Yeah.
What was Mao? It was 80 million of his own people that he starved to death and murdered?
80 million?
I want to say it was 80 million.
Well,
Stalin
was talking about population reduction.
I thought it was over 500 million, like 600 million.
Get rid of people. So
I don't have those numbers, but I've always historically remembered Mao was 80 million. Stalin was 40 million.
Okay.
Hitler was 20 million, but that was through war. When Stalin did it, it was mostly through purges. When Mao did it, it was through starvation and some purges.
Gear shift before I was going to think when Grandma Connie was talking about what people were talking about is what they should do.
Yeah.
The whole when you got truth and you're trying to give to someone who won't hear it, even some personal truth, I always remember the 3 stages of truth. is that all truth goes through those three stages of first it's ridiculed, second it's violently opposed,
Yeah.
third it's accepted as being self-evident.
Correct. And it's a dynamic of
It's even personal truths. Every individual person, when hearing a new piece of information, oh, the earth is flat. Oh, yeah, fuck you. Bullshit. But then you have to go through the three stages.
right.
You know.
Right.
Yeah.
And those three stages are only superseded or overridden by the personal trauma you may be going through at the moment. You still may go through those stages, but you still
To accept an opinion that you don't hold yourself.
correct. And
To
it's
have
like
a viewpoint established in your own mind.
Right.
Of truth. Even if the truth is relative, that's the thing. Even if the truth is relative truth,
yeah,
it still goes through
those
three
stages.
stages.
No, 100%.
Yeah. Truth.
And I do those stages with myself where I will. Well, that's why at some point we want to do the whole series where we talk about it.
Of entertaining.
It's the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain an idea without embracing it.
I found a list of thoughts worth thinking.
Yeah.
In the drives of information that I was going through to look for drive space of your father-in-law's information. He had a list of research stuff in there that was thoughts worth thinking. I'm like, oh, here's 2 seasons of the mark right here. Yeah, I'll pull them up.
Oh, he's got
Tanya has the drives now.
He has a ton of stuff. So Patrick, let's do this. Let's do the final thoughts here. I think I went over most of our stuff. We didn't even touch on the Trump Elon's spaces as far as breaking anything down, but that's fine. They destroyed the old media. Kamala, we talked about.
What's the story you were talking about where they used IT technology to change Trump's responses, and it sounded like he was drunk or.
Okay, so not even used. It should literally just a function of being on a X Spaces or being on Zoom or being on stuff is the digital recording of a voice or the digital transmission of a voice. There are certain, in fact, there's a whole video.
His phone was on his table in front of him. I saw he was speaking down.
Correct.
Yeah, he was speaking down.
And then they went over it today that on InfoWars that they literally have a video out there for those platforms on how to go in and change the settings so it doesn't give you the digital slur. There's literally a whole video on how to go in if you're using this equipment for this platform and this thing. Go in and click this and click that. We've had multiple times doing the studio work here where OBS updated tonight today. All right. That one updated the other day. The computer will update this piece of software update, this piece of software update, and it'll fuck up the whole thing. And we got to figure out why it's not working right. I had it where both on that computer over there specifically, both web browsers updated and would no longer do Rumble. And I had to go to the Google browser, Chrome browser, in order to even broadcast the show for the last 3 months because we hit a month where it literally wouldn't recognize some of the hardware here, which it did the week before. No big deal. No. So that dynamic of Trump, it literally just digitized. It gave him a digital slur that they tried to capitalize. And I watched it demonstrated today, listening to InfoWars, where they took actually a Kamala Harris speech, then ran it through the same process that Trump and Elon were using last night's hardware and gave her a slur. He goes, here's the original video, played 30 seconds, and then goes, here's through this process, this processing software. And she sounded like she was slurring and drunk.
I listened to the whole Elon Trump thing. I only heard that slur for like the first maybe 5 or 7 minutes out of Trump. I didn't hear it the rest of the way.
Absolutely. But they're trying to capitalize on it because they've got to minimize the fact that they ignored Biden for the last 3.5 years of being a dementia patient and not being cognitive. And they've got to do whatever they can to try and level the playing field, which you're not going to be able to do. So final thoughts.
Are they going to have a debate?
Well, Trump has agreed to debate whatever, and they're accusing him of not agreeing. And in fact, I heard a great video on InfoWars. I probably had it pulled up, but my computer froze. It's frozen on this screen. I can't do it. I can't even dismiss it. Maybe if I put a keyboard hardwired into it, because the wireless keyboard will not react whatsoever for Control Alt Delete. Yeah, it's fine. Patrick, final thoughts. Let's finish up the show tonight. We're on record and on Twitch and
well, my final thoughts are go hand in hand with what I've been saying pretty much every night, and I exemplified last week.
Yeah.
No, not last week. 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, you were working the polls last week.
I was not able to be here. It was the primaries. I'm the chairman of the Election Integrity Committee. I went around visiting 27 different polling places to make sure that we had ample folks in there for poll watchers, poll workers, and make sure that they were balanced between having Democrats and Republicans. Everybody seemed to be pretty upbeat. Also, I would have to say that it seemed like polling was down a little bit. There weren't as many people getting out and voting as we would like. And that is what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
I have a real challenge with the fact, and this is a fact, that there are 370,000 registered gun owners in the state of Michigan who are not registered to vote. What the hell is the matter with you people? You like having your weapons? Better get registered and get out and vote, because if you don't,
If you want to keep them.
yeah,
If you want to keep them,
because you're going to have a guy knocking on your door at some point and wanting to collect those guns from you. You're going to lose them.
Yep.
The other one I'm real challenged with is knowing that over 70% of the population of the continental United States is Christian, or at least people that call themselves Christian.
Yeah.
And only 30% of those folks vote.
Right.
That's a problem.
It is a huge problem.
And it's been my bitch. And a lot of people sit on the sidelines. Oh, they're great keyboard warriors. They'll get on whatever platform and want to argue with you.
Yeah.
But when it comes to actually
Push comes
getting
to
out
shove,
and doing something,
yeah, they're MIA.
Yeah. I mean, you've got people here. We're both delegates. I'm on the executive committee in my county. I'm the election integrity chair. Doing podcasts like this, I'm extremely involved, and it's maddening to me to see people sit on the sidelines and do nothing.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so
it's ridiculous.
Get involved, people, please. We're on the verge of losing the country that we love, that I grew up in, that we want to be able to pass on to our kids. I just, it's insanity. I mean, I had a conversation with a couple guys that kind of lean left, and I said to them, I want you to educate me. Please help me understand, because I'm a little at a loss. I said, you lean left. You would actually vote for Kamala Harris. Well, let's talk about that. I told you that Kamala Harris scares me. Now let me explain why. First of all, she's from California. Take a look at the economy in California. Take a look at the mass exodus of companies, people that are leaving that state for conservative states. It's huge. Taxes are out of control. Crime is out of control. People can't live there anymore.
They passed laws that anything under $900 of shoplifting, they're not going to prosecute.
Yeah.
So literally CVS and Walgreens and places like that left the cities because they were being robbed blind.
Yeah.
They couldn't lock up enough stuff.
Right. So it's just, that's going on. It is a known fact that Kamala Harris supports an open border. Anybody can go across that border.
Yep.
And they are gifting each and every one of those people $2,200 a month Social Security. Now, I don't know about you, but I worked since I was 16 years old paying into Social Security. And at this point, I'm retired, and I deserve to get that money back. I've paid into it for a lot of years, and a lot of money.
And to watch people that never paid in get the same benefits or more benefits.
They get medical. I don't I don't hold that against anybody. Everybody should have health care at some to some level, but these people are being given that. They're getting cell phones. It's just a big giveaway nonstop.
Yeah.
In order to support that, Kamala Harris wants to raise your taxes to 70%. Okay. It is on the books right now in the state of Michigan. It is on the books right now in the state of Michigan that Gretchen Whitmer is trying to do away with the Headley Act. She wants to have every single home inspected and reevaluated from the ground up and brought up to current market standards, market value, and be taxed on it. Now, I got to tell you something, okay? I can live in my house right now because of the Headley Act and because of the homestead property tax. But if they do that, my taxes alone will be well over $2,000 a month. I can't live there anymore. So now I'm getting livid.
They want to tax you out of existence.
Right. I will not be able to afford my home. I won't be able to afford a lot of things that I normally have been able to afford. And I've worked my entire damn life. So could you please explain to me why you support this woman? Because I'm at a loss.
What was the response?
Well, they want to bring
She's black and she's got a vagina.
They're trying to bring people across the border so that we have folks that will work these menial jobs.
Oh, fuck off. You know what? People, we used to hire our teenagers to go do all the jobs that they say that we can't get anybody else to do, but are illegals coming across. No, teenagers used to do all these jobs, summer jobs, right?
Right. Well, my response to them is they're getting $2,200 a month.
They're not working
per person. Yeah. Kamala Harris would like to raise that to what she considers to be a living wage of $6,500 a month. Now,
based on the inflation shit that they've put forth,
for a family of four, that's $23,000 a month. Now, I can tell you something. I'm extremely well educated, and I've worked my ass off for many years creating businesses, etc. And I don't think I made that kind of money.
23,000.
Yeah, figure it out. $6,500 a month.
You know what we could do here with the studio if we had $23,000 a month? Yeah.
No, it's more than that. 6,500 times 4 is.
Maybe the math is 26,000.
26.
Yeah.
26 grand a month, family of 4. You think they're going to go out and work? Really?
No.
So you're supporting this because you hate Trump, but you can't really tell me a reason why you hate Trump other than he said that he likes to grab women by the pussy. I don't give a damn what he does with pussies. All I care about is whether or not I've got somebody that's going to support the American lifestyle that I've been accustomed to my entire life. That's what I want.
Right.
Okay? I want to know that I can stay in my home that I've been in for the last 30 years.
Right.
I want to know that I can continue to pay my bills, that I've worked hard and put money away. And not have it just disappear, because the largest pot of money that we have in this country is everybody's retirement fund.
Yeah.
And if they decide they want to take that, how are you going to stop it, Mr. Democrat? How do you think you got this nice 7-figure number in a bank account, and all of a sudden you're going to open it up one day and it's going to be 0 because they're taking it and giving it to the people coming across the border. And what are you going to do at that point?
People do not even know this or understand this. They've got a whole dynamic that they call a bail-in. There's a bailout. A bailout when a company or a bank is insolvent, they get a bailout from the government. Do you know what a bail-in is for a bank? It's where they seize all of the accounts of the people that have accounts with them in the bank and go, we need to take your money to keep ourselves floating. That's called a bail-in. And you turn around the next day and your money is gone. And you don't think it has happened? Look it up. It's happened multiple times. People went to the bank is closed, and your account is closed. They seized your account, bail-in. Look that shit up.
All right, well, that's my final word.
Nice.
That's
I love it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know we're still live on a couple of the platforms. We'll figure out what's going on with Rumble with that. Hopefully, when we hit the end of the stream over here, it catches up and the VOD is recorded. If not, we will post all of this there. Anything over there, Tim? Okay. It's strange the amount of people that are feeling ill right now in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
Always those types of things are anomalies to me. And so I wish health and healing, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will catch you next time. I can't even mute mics. I have no controls over here. So we will catch you guys next time. We're out.
Thanks, folks. Have a great evening.
This is my brain.
Dad, that's an egg. Yeah, that's an egg.
Honey,
Dude,
that's an egg.
seriously.
That's an egg. It's a metaphor. It's still an egg.
That's an egg.
I would challenge you.
That's an egg.
I know my brain is not actually an egg, okay? It's a metaphor.
Metaphor or not, that's not your brain.
It's just an egg.
Una cerveza para mí. My egg is my brain.
Can I at least have some bacon, maybe some sausage with that egg, though?
Oh, I want some bacon.
I want crepes.
Have some bacon and pancakes with that egg.
I'll take it with cheese.
Extra large brown cage-free eggs.
Can I have your brain with hot cakes?
A sausage and a little toast and potato.
That would be great.
Does it have antibiotics?
I don't know, man. I'm not good at this shit.
Well, they got to be able to resist some diseases.
You resist the disease.
Has it got any hormones?
Maybe. It's cage free.
Vegetarian?
Maybe.
Are they vegan?
No, I eat steak.
Never apologize and never explain.
Never apologize.
Never apologize and never explain.